Saw the trading floor, took the market by storm, stocks rising high, and profits were born from Wall Street to the Mississippi shore. Best stock trader, that's for sure. Driving in style with the top rolled down, cruising in my Corolla, the talk of the town. Stocks climbing up, never going down. I'm the king of the market, wearing the crown. Thickest thighs, you won't believe your eyes. Moving on the dance floor, mesmerized. Swinging and swaying to the rhythm tonight, like a stock chart rising, taking flight. With the top rolled down, cruising in my Corolla, the talk of the town. Stocks climbing up, never going down. I'm the king of the market, wearing the crown. I'm the king of the market, wearing the crown.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and happy Monday. And it feels like we're about to have a very special Monday. It is Monday, May the 13th. First of all, shout out to all the moms watching. Shout out to all the people who've ever met a mom, had a mom. If you are a mom or have ever been in contact with a mom, happy Mother's Day to you. I hope you were able to enjoy your day yesterday. Now, with that out of the way, we got to talk about the craziness that's going on. Not only is the overall market looking really good, and we have a lot of things coming up this particular week, CPI report, PPI report, retail sales report, many Fed speakers, including the chairman of the Fed himself, Jerome Powell, speaking this week. A lot of craziness this week. But it looks like we have some specialty, a little bit of a specialty movement, a little bit of a blast from the past, if you will. Folks, GameStop is on the move. This month alone, we are only halfway through the month of May, and GameStop's upward movement has already cost short sellers almost $1 billion. Depending on where we do or don't open today, like right now, I know pre-market's a little bit crazy when it comes to old GameStop, but depending on where we do or don't open today, short sellers might be officially down $1 billion. I'm not saying a million, I'm saying $1 billion with a B. GameStop's going crazy. I know on Friday, when we were fortunate enough to have the guest lecture from Spot Gamma, we were using GameStop as a real-time example. So I'm going to do a full-fledged breakdown on why GameStop's moving now, a very deep dive into the options movement of what the options do. So I'm going to give you kind of like the story, the narrative of it, basically Roaring Kitty's back. The guy who started this all, deep effing value, the man who I owe basically my career to, look up to him. Obviously, he's an OG. He just likes the stock. He came back. That's the TLDR. He came back on Twitter. So I'm going to break down the narrative of it. Then we're going to do more of a quantitative deep dive into the options market and the short interest and everything that we're seeing there. And then from that point, I want to just give my generic thoughts, because if this were to happen again, and obviously no one knows, I mean, I can't tell the future, but if GameStop were to squeeze again, I want to share my thoughts on how living through it the first time back in 2021 with GameStop and then Doge and Shiba and AMC and everything else. I want to share a little bit of my thoughts on how, I guess, just the things I learned and really how I personally fumbled the ball. A lot of other people did too. So I just want to share my thoughts as a person who's lived through this before, of some like do's and don'ts of everything that we see happening. So I wanted to share that. You're too young to know about options. What? Kevin, you can't know about options simply because of age? that's your argument, that like there's like simply just not enough time within life of 30 years, of 3 decades to not know about options. You're like, nope, that's impossible. Never ever met a 30-year-old who can know about options. Well, Kevin, I actually would 100% disagree, and I would probably bet a considerable amount of money that not only do I know a little bit more of options than you, I would actually argue that I know quite a bit more options than you. And knowing or not knowing about options is not related to age. It'd be one thing if like an 8-year-old showed up and said, I'm going to teach you about options, but what? Kev, I'm 30. There's many 30-year-olds out there that have expertise in particular veins of knowledge. I don't, I'm curious to know your reasoning, but I bet it's something unfounded and uninformed. So I'll probably just end up not caring. But for everyone else who's actually interested in learning from a person who actually knows about options, lived through this entire event before, saw a short squeeze, saw a gamma squeeze, saw FOMO, saw hedge funds blow up, literally lived it. In fact, streamed it for most of the whole time that it happened. For everyone else who's, I don't know, has a little bit higher level of an openness and wants to learn from a person who's actually been through this all before, happy to talk about it. Happy to get into it and share some actual history on the whole craziness. We have, it really is getting crazy again. So Roaring Kitty's back. Tate, he's talking about it. Andrew Tate, so I want to share that. We do have some other craziness in the world. For those of you who maybe missed it on Friday, I know it was a couple days ago, my favorite trader of all time, the GOAT of Wall Street, Jim Simons, passed away. So I want to talk a little about him and his legacy. But he started Renaissance Technologies, and specifically he had the Medallion Fund, which is just notorious for its returns over decades and decades and decades. It's just crazy. Truly the best trader of all time. So RIP to Jim Simons, an absolute GOAT. I mean, the guy was ripping cigs until the day he died, and he just did not care. An absolute GOAT. So I want to talk a little bit about him. And I also want to offer a little bit backdrop of just everything going on right now. Obviously, I know things are continually week over week, month over month, heating up in the political world. So I want to give you a quick TLDR there. Finally, it does look like one politician's going to be getting a little bit of trouble for insider trading / bribery. So that case is starting today. So I want to give you an update there. I want to give you a quick update of what's the most recent news between Trump and Biden. And then we do have some important macroeconomic news, not just for the US, but globally. So we have some things to go over today. Craziness with GameStop and the potential squeeze. And I want to kind of set everyone up as a person who's lived through this before. I want to talk about the overall market right now because things are looking very, very bullish. Looks like we have a lot of opportunity outside of this potential squeeze. And then I also want to just kind of give you a better idea of what's coming the week ahead. So not only do we have earnings, we have macroeconomic developments, and then we also have some interesting charting, price, technical setups that I want to put on everyone's watch list. So with that being said, if you haven't already, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get rocking with the old MK show. Oh, is this ever going to load? I have, as you can see, a gazillion and a half tabs open, and we have so much to get into. So let's get rocking. Stock futures rise slightly after Dow's best week of the year. Investors look toward inflation data. So the second part of this, look towards inflation data. Lots of reports coming out this week. I'm going to give you everything you need to know, the times and the importance and all of that. But before we do, here's a look at the SPY and the Qs right now. Strong recovery in the SPY, strong recovery in the Qs, heading towards the high value on Friday. Microsoft, that's just one that I've been calling out as a swing play lately. Right now, looking very, very good. And then obviously the bell of the ball today, GameStop already up 39%. 39% in pre-market trading. Absolutely insane. So lots of stuff, lots of exciting things. Now, I just want to go over it because I think it's an important narrative to understand what's going on in the U.S. political situation, and then thus it's going to impact who's the potential president, and the president is going to impact the economy, and the economy is obviously going to impact the stock market. But we are in a weird thing where I like over the weekends to check the newest weekly polls, and we don't need to watch this 5-minute clip, but I want to give you the TLDR that even people who are specifically Biden supporters, specifically anti-Trump, they're starting to point out how not only is Biden falling behind in the polls, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And as of the most recent polling over this past weekend, and this is brought up by a Biden support, I guess, media outlet, Fareed, I believe is how you pronounce it, but much more of a supporter of Biden. In every single swing state, Trump is either leading and then one of them he's tied. So Biden, as of the most recent polling, is actually not winning in a single swing state, which is pretty jarring because at the polling of this time relative to the last election, he actually was about 20 points ahead in a lot of the important minority voting blocks. So right now, he's basically that core support that he's like leaning on. It's just dwindling, and it's dwindling very, very rapidly. So if we have time, we could come back to this because I do believe he brings up interesting points. And it's a story as old as time as politics. Is people are getting angry because what they were promised in the previous election, they feel as if it's not being delivered on. So it's not necessarily a vote for the other guy. It's more of they're going to vote for the other guy out of anger for the original guy, which you could argue actually happened to Trump that whole election ago. So we're just in this like endless pendulum. But with that being said, it's chaos across the board. How a reelected Trump could make his criminal cases go away. This is a very fair question to ask, especially when you realize, oh, Trump's leading in the polls, but he also has not one, not two, not three, but 4 major criminal trials that he's considering right now. Is that even possible? What happens? Can he pardon himself? Can he be a president from jail? So I thought this was a very interesting breakdown that I just want to share with all of you. Like no one before him, Donald Trump is at once a former president, his party's presumptive nominee to be president again, and a criminal defendant. He faces felony charges in 4 separate cases for conduct before, during, and after his presidency, including conspiring to defraud the U.S. in his efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss, mishandling classified documents, and falsifying business records to cover up hush money to an adult film actress. This unprecedented situation raises a host of previous implausible hypotheticals. They present multiple ways in which Trump may evade the prosecutors pursuing him, especially if he reigns the White House in the November 5th election. Now, before we get into this, I'm not here to tell you if the charges are fair, not fair, accurate, not accurate, if he's guilty, not guilty. That's not me. That's not my job. I want to talk about just the craziness that we're in and what could theoretically happen. I'm not covering this to be like, oh, it's completely right. Oh, it's completely wrong. That's up to the lawyers, the judges, the jury. I trust in them to figure it out. I just want to talk about how it is kind of a crazy situation and the potential fallout from it. Is Trump immune from prosecution as a former president? The answer is no. We don't have to get into the fancy legal jargon. No, as a former president, yes, you can be charged. How could a reelected Trump get the cases dropped or held? Apart from the case in Washington, one other, the classified documents case in federal prosecution for which the trial in Florida has been postponed indefinitely. So that's for one of the 4. Should Trump be sworn in as president before these 2 federal cases have reached a verdict, he could order his attorney general to file court motions to dismiss the prosecutions. But once again, remember, there's a big difference between federal and state level, and that's what we'll get into. If judges were to deny the motions, the attorney general could appeal or simply refuse to participate in the litigation going forward, said John Sale, a former federal prosecutor who served as special counsel during the Watergate investigation. So relative to the federal charges, Trump would actually have more power in that situation, once again, because he was representing the federal government, but state government, a very different thing. Could Trump, as president, pardon himself? The answer is no. Not if he's convicted on any of the state charges. That's because the president's constitutional power to quote unquote grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the U.S. appeals only to federal crimes. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, she was the lady we covered last week, she said that there's poor black kids in Queens who've never even heard the word computer. That lady, who came off as way more racist than she intended, she actually on the state level can offer pardon to him, but she's not his biggest fan, but she's no Trump fan. Even with the Republican governor in Georgia, Trump would be unlikely to get a pardon there. Pardons in Georgia are governed by a state board, and applicants can request only 5 years after completing their prison sentence. Next important question. Could Trump, while president, be sent to prison? If Trump were convicted in a state case and sentenced to prison, the Justice Department would likely file a legal motion arguing that it's inappropriate and unconstitutional to incarcerate a sitting president. So the real answer there is we don't know. It's never happened before. It just hasn't happened. We haven't had to handle this. So it's kind of up in the air. And we're literally living through history here with how some of this stuff is going to be decided. But On the other side of the political world, finally, and I know we covered a lot here of political insider trading, Pelosi, Tuberville, and the likes of those people making millions and millions of dollars, way more than their salary, and they don't even have a background in Wall Street. And yes, they're some of the best traders. Well, within that domain, one of them is they're finally getting their time. Bob Menendez. Bribe trial over gold bars, cash begins in New York. So when this first happened a handful of months ago, we covered it, but obviously the wheels of justice spin a little bit slow. They turn a little bit slow. So it takes time, but finally the court case is beginning. Now, if you don't know what's going on here, basically his house was raided and they found cars that were paid off, jewelry, and a good grip of gold bars. The bribery trial for Senator Robert Menendez begins today, Monday, with the embattled New Jersey Democrat potentially blaming his wife. The dude's going to throw his wife under the bus for his predicament and seeking a psychiatrist to defend why he hoarded $480,000 in cash and 13 gold bars FBI agents found in his house. So basically he's saying, my wife did it, and then if you find that's not believable, it's because I'm not right in the head because I had a pretty tough youth, which is why I hoard $500,000 in cash and 13 gold bars. Crazy. Jury selection begins Monday in New York federal court for the New Jersey Democrat and two businessmen accused of bribing him. Prosecutors charged Menendez, 70, and his wife, Nadine, with accepting cash, gold, and a Mercedes-Benz in return for favors. He's also charged with illegally helping the government of Qatar and acting as an agent of Egypt. He faces 20 years in prison on the most serious charge, which is minimal if you ask me. So his major line of defense is blaming his wife. What a guy. Menendez's wife was key to Egypt making inroads with him, according to prosecutors. Menendez has suggested that he may blame Nadine, who will face a later trial because she has an undisclosed illness and needs surgery. The poor lady is going to end up probably Epsteining herself. Here's some picture of just the cash that they found. Here's a picture of some of the gold bars. Truly crazy. But finally, it looks like maybe, just maybe, I don't want to hold my breath on it because obviously we're just starting with the legal trial, but fingers crossed, knock on wood, that maybe justice will actually work one of these times when we have a politician, who many of them do it, abusing their position. And it seems like they always get away with it scot-free, but finally, maybe one of these guys is gonna get caught. So that starts today. As it does develop, I'm going to keep you apprised of the situation because I hope that the guy gets absolutely nailed. Biden to hike tariffs on China's EVs and offer solar exclusion. So a little bit of a development right now where I've almost been referring to it as like the semiconductor EV Cold War between the US and China, but a lot going on with the EV companies and then also semiconductors. Obviously, this one's a little bit more direct to EVs, but right now, Biden really is striking when there's a quote unquote weak opportunity in China because China is very much on tilt. China to start 130 billion bond sale on Friday to boost the economy. So right now, even though they're posturing that everything's great, everything's bueno, everything's as expected, it's not. China's facing some very, very serious issues between basically the collapse of their real estate, their shadow banking crisis, their ghost towns, and really just weak economic growth. This last report was the first positive report they've had in a slew of them. So the medium-term trend over the past year or two, even though, like I said, China's posturing that everything's going well from a pure just economic sense, it is not going well at all. Total of $1 trillion of debt will be sold through November. It's the fourth such sale in the past 26 years, with the last in 2020. Like I said, you can see it in the title, very much on tilt, and the direction that the economy in China is going right now, not so good. It's to the point that it's getting to this extreme. China is buying gold like there's no tomorrow. The global prices of gold has reached its highest level as Chinese investors and consumers worry of real estate and stocks buy the metal at a record pace. That is a clear flight to safety. If you're not trusting real estate, if you're not trusting your own local real estate, your own local stock market, and you're just going to gold, this is by definition the flight to safety. Gold is always pitched as the flight to safety, and we're literally seeing that play out in real time. So gold, dancing around literal all-time highs. This is a trend that's already been going on in China and Russia for years now, of just getting off specifically US treasuries and going over to gold. But the rate at consumption of this is absolutely ridiculous. So just want to give you a little bit of a global update there. And taking a bigger step back, the debt is too high. Debt to GDP ratio in 2023. I know I spend a lot of the time here complaining about how bad ours is. We're at a debt to GDP ratio of 123%. Getting above 130 is like a no man's land that you don't want to be in. The history of any developed country that has over 130, not so good. The odds are actually considerably high for an absolute disaster. So the USA is dancing around 123, and I don't want to be mean and just pick on that. Italy coming in at 144, Singapore 168, Greece 168, Japan 255. No. Not good. Obviously, there's other ones that are quite a bit lower. UK, a respectable 104, Austria 75, and then we have some that are actually getting closer to 50 and kind of seem to be operating. But we're in a strange stage where no one really stopped to ask questions over the past decade, like pre-Rona, because coming out of the financial crisis, pumping money into the system, things were seemingly good. And no one really stopped to ask the question of like, okay, what does it really mean that we're off the gold standard? What does it really mean that the Federal Reserve and the chairman and really the FOMC, they can just make money out of thin air and push it into the system? And then the media talking heads are trying to spin it in a way where, no, printing all this money doesn't really cause any inflation. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the fact that you might have your economy slow down, inflation be persistent, and now you're in a world of stagflation with a very heightened debt to GDP. Folks, just to give you a little bit of a reasonable basis here, in the 08, 09, 2010 era, yeah, things were bad. But please understand at that point, the debt to GDP was half of what it is right now. And that might not seem that powerful to you of like what it does or doesn't mean. But from a higher level macroeconomic standpoint, that's a huge deal. So even before, when we've had, by definition, like historic financial failures, we are much less prepared to handle that now than we've ever been. It is actually insane that if things start to break, we don't really have a backstop the way we historically have. And then the next fair question is, okay, are things starting to break? This is from the Bank of Canada. The Bank of Canada warns that there are risks of a sharp correction in markets that could cause a system-wide stress banking crisis incoming. 2 Fridays ago, not First Republic Bank, that one blew up a while ago. The Republic First Bank ended up getting seized by the Fed within the US. So we're already seeing an uptick of banks once again failing in the US, but it's not just in the US. Obviously, we're seeing it in Canada, so they're warning about it. But what's crazy here is if you really do a deep dive into it, the Bank of Canada has been like over the past couple of years unloading their gold. So their own flight to safety, they've been getting rid of. So I guess I feel bad for anyone who's in Canada right now dealing with this because it's not so bueno.
Over the past year, the risk of recession has diminished in Canada and globally. Inflation in most countries has come down, and inflation targets are in sight. However, there could be volatility in markets as expectations shift about when and by how much central banks will lower their policy rates. And there continue to be important geopolitical and economic risks on the horizon. Against this backdrop, households and businesses continue to adjust to past interest rate increases. Some indicators of financial stress have risen. At the same time, the valuations of some financial assets appear to have become stretched. This could increase the risk of a sharp correction that could generate system-wide stress.
You never want to hear that
the recent
from
rise in
your
use of
central
leverage in
bank.
non-bank financial institutions could amplify the effects of such a correction. What's most important is that to properly manage risks, financial system participants need to remain proactive, and financial authorities need to remain vigilant.
So, not so good. But I don't want to be the negative Nancy. I don't want to be the guy only giving you the negative news. Let's switch things up a little bit and talk about the really fun, bullish things that are going on. And it's this guy right here posting one simple photo. We've all been in that mode before. When you're gaming, you're playing against a friend, a buddy, you're there, Halo 3, Xbox Live is now a thing, and you're living the top tier life. And after a couple rounds of losses, you need to be a little bit more of a serious gamer. You need to move about a foot closer to the screen. You got to get into your pure gaming position as depicted here. And this photo was tweeted out by Roaring Kitty, the true GOAT, the guy who started it all, the grandfather of really the meme mania, the meme squeezes, and it all went down with GameStop. If other people are telling you other things were involved in it, understand that they just didn't live through it. Folks, I literally streamed the entire saga. It all started with GameStop. Without GameStop, we would have never had any of these other squeezes occur. You could disagree with that, but just know that you are wrong. By any historical account, it all started with Roaring Kitty. It all started with GameStop, and it was all because of the deep effing value that he was able to find in the stock. And the guy was called crazy. He was in the position for a year and a half, 2 years before anything happened. People were ripping him apart on Wall Street bets. And then all of a sudden they started to realize he was right. And the guy probably cleared $30-40 million. No one's really sure. But anyway, he's been silent for 3 years. Roaring Kitty, deep effing value, Keith Gill, he's been silent, gone. No one knows what's going on for 3 years. And then out of nowhere, May 12th, yesterday night at 8 p.m., he tweets this. Within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, the guy gained 100,000 followers on Twitter. Less than 24 hours because of this simple picture. Look at 58,000 likes, 16,000 retweets. Not only was this crazy in terms of social media, I think it's fair to say that it was pretty crazy with respect to the stock itself because it closed out Friday at $17.46, currently trading at $25, currently up 45% in pre-market trading because of a freaking tweet. So if you want to sit there and argue that the market is completely efficient and it's not crazy at all, well, I don't know, because everything we've seen about it is things get absolutely nuts with it. Now, obviously, because people know how this goes and how it's been in the past, you're seeing a lot of other big people join in on this. So this is Andrew Tate, obviously large following. This has 10,000 likes. I lost a lot of money attacking the Matrix or in GameStop, always been part of the resistance. I think his more recent tweet was that if he gets 5,000 retweets, he's going to buy $1 million worth of GameStop. I believe it already hit that level. So you have a lot of other people with a large following, a specific, and it's not just a large following. You have to understand the true roots of this is it's all troll based. The reason GameStop worked originally was because people were in on the joke. They were in on the troll. It's a piece of internet culture that either you kind of grew up in the right time and you understand it, or you could be someone else that you're just like, oh, this doesn't make sense in Wall Street. But what about the PE ratios? But what about this, that, the other thing? No, it was a troll. And honestly, the birth of the movement itself, I wouldn't even argue with some giant David and Goliath thing of we're taking down Wall Street. It was a troll. Now, for anyone who spent way too many hours on Reddit the way I have, you understand what I'm saying. That makes sense to you. You're like, yeah, no, it was a bunch of people that were doing something because it was a funny FU. Obviously, it morphed and it grew into these other things of we're taking down Wall Street, and it kind of had like an Occupy Wall Street thing. And I think some of those psychological veins and through points are there, and that's fair. But please understand the basis of this is people in mass decided to be a troll. That, to a lot of you, will make sense. And to others of you who just don't get that, I guess, the underbelly of Reddit and that culture, it's Reddit-esque, it's 4chan-esque, it's anonymous-esque. It's a piece of internet culture that you either experience it yourself or you just don't. And now later after the market opens, I'm going to share more deep thoughts on how I'm personally handling this situation. But before we do that, we have some other prep things to get into. But please understand, it's one thing when more people pile on, but it just very quickly becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's one thing when big communities are like, oh, we're watching this again. But when there's big communities that have that particular, I guess, internet underbelly troll-like feature, this thing is just adding so much gasoline to the fire. But anyway, here's what Andrew Tate has to say about it.
So as it stands, there's a hedge fund manager who, when it wakes up tomorrow morning, and Wall Street opens, if the GameStop price opens at the current price, he's going to lose $13 billion, his entire hedge fund. So me and Luke, we just cashed some Bitcoin. We're putting 50 grand, 50 G's, 50 grand in at GameStop at this price. I don't give a fuck if I lose it all. I don't give a fuck. I just want this hedge fund manager piece of shit, these Wall Street fucking greedy bank pig cunts, I just want him to lose. And now I'm reading more and more. These Occupy Wall Street guys are doing AMC, BlackBerry, whatever. I'm cashing. I'm putting this right now. I'm cashing $500,000 of Bitcoin right now, and I'm going all in, maximum leverage, all in on all these stocks. Luke, we're losing all the money. We are taking down Wall Street.
All his money.
We're going to take them down ourselves. I'm taking Wall Street down. Watch me. Fuck them. Fuck them all. So as it stands.
All right. So you get a bit more of the story right now. Roaring Kitty, the guy who started all this in 2021, he's back. Everyone's excited. That's the narrative. And the narrative is really built on the foundation of F Wall Street. These people who think they're so smart, do all this analysis, are betting that a company will fail. Let's just take them to the mat and see how things play out. So that's the narrative. That's the qualitative side. That's almost like the ethos of it. But I do want to dive into some of the actual quantifiable things. So here's GameStop. As of market close on Friday, this is as of market close on Friday, the short interest, the shares that are theoretically betting against GameStop, like as in wanting it to go down, 25% of the free float. So a stock has a certain amount of shares. Not every stock has the same amount of shares, but it's the outstanding share count. The outstanding share count is composed of two things. You have the free float, and then the closely held shares. The free float is what the public trades, so that's what it's based on. If it's closely held shares, that's shares that, are vesting. It's held by a pension fund that doesn't really trade. It's shares that are assumed are not going to be really actively moving on the public market. So that's why we only focus on the free float, as in freely traded. It's on the public market. So that's what the short interest is. It's the ratio of shares that are short versus the current free float. And that number does change. It is dynamic. So as of market close on Friday, 25%. And then obviously throughout the day, we'll monitor the live interest. The live short interest. The cost to borrow is actually very low. So CTB, cost to borrow, that's the rate that you would pay if you were to have the shares out on loan. So to take a legal, legitimate short position, you have to borrow the shares from someone who owns the shares. Then if you so choose, you could sell them to the market. And when you're done with it, you buy it back and then you have to return your shares. So to take a legal, legitimate short position, you first have to take shares out on loan. And in doing so, when you're borrowing the shares from someone, you have to pay a fee. And the cost to borrow, it's always presented in an annual number. So if you were to have the shares out on loan for an entire year, that's what you would pay, 6%. It is ticking up, and I bet today it's going to really, really jump. But that's just what it was as of market close on Friday. Once again, I'm just trying to give you the time frame. Utilization, that's the rate, that is the percentage of shares out on loan versus how much could theoretically go out on loan. So if there's 10 that are willing to be loaned out and then 9 are out on loan, your utilization rate would be 90%, 9 divided by 10. So it's the percentage of shares out on loan versus the entire pool in that moment in time that can go out on loan. And here's some of the other numbers. It's not on the threshold list. So I just want to give you the screenshot for right now because this is as of market close on Friday. But when the market actually opens today, we'll be able to start seeing what's actually happening throughout the intraday period. So obviously we'll come back to this, and all this data is provided by Ortex, which by far is the best way to get real short interest numbers. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at iBorrowDesk. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at Fintel. Please understand that those are accurate, but it's only a little slice of actual trading volume. They're only getting their data from Interactive Brokers, while Ortex is capturing more than 80% of all trading volume. So Fintel, iBorrowDesk, all of those, please understand, they're not wrong. It's just a really small sliver of the full picture. If you want to get much closer to the full picture, you're going to want to use Ortex. And unfortunately, there's no service out there that has the entire picture because not all of these dealings have to be done on the live market. A hedge fund can call up another hedge fund and be like, hey, can I borrow 1 million shares from you? And obviously that wouldn't be captured in this, but it does capture about 80 to 85% of the entire picture. That's why Ortex is the best to actually know what's going on with the real short interest information. If there's any questions on that, more than happy to answer afterwards. We're going to come back to this on Spot Gamma. I want to do a full options breakdown. So we're going to be doing that for GME, but let's wait till about like 15 minutes into the day, something like that, 15, 20 minutes into the day. But if you want to know, like folks, I've used all these other services. I've used whatever, any option service where they're allegedly telling you what's going on. I've paid for them all. I've used them all. There is, to put it simply, there is nothing better than Spot Gamma. And the difference between what Spot Gamma gives you and what all these other services are providing, it's the distance, the gap between them is literally indescribable. And yes, I've worked with some of these before. You've worked with some of them before. And I'm telling you, for anyone who's like used various other options analytics platforms, by the time you actually try out Spot Gamma, and I'll prove it to you today in terms of the real-time information, you will be blown away by how much better it is. So we're going to be coming to this of what's truly happening in the options market, but obviously it's going to be a bit better when we have the options, like when people are actively trading options. We need some sort of data to do an analysis on. Very, very quickly, there is other stuff going on in the market this week. So if you want, here's a look at some of the earnings that are coming down the pipeline. Feel free to screenshot this or feel free to go to @eWhispers. Also, outside of the world of individual companies, this particular week, way different than last week with respect to macroeconomic reports. This week, many Fed speakers. And on top of that, we get the PPI report, we get the CPI report, and we get the retail sales report and the CPI report out of the Eurozone. So we have 3-4 different measures of inflation and various Fed speakers. So expect way more volatility this week than last week. If you want all this information for 100% free in a very concise manner, check it out. It is, my mods will put it into the description of the video, or they'll put it in chat or whatever. But it's just mattcohrs.locals.com. I give you this newsletter for free. It's the Goonie newsletter. I give you a breakdown of what's going on, what to look forward to, all the major macroeconomic events that you should be paying attention to per day, all the earnings. I highlight the ones I think you're going to care about. For example, Thursday before the market opens, we're hearing from Walmart. And then I also give you the seasonality for each individual trading day of the week, obviously with respect to the S&P 500. So for today, Monday, May 13th, it's slightly bearish. It's for the overall market over the past 25 years, the past 2.5 decades, there was a little bit of bullishness. It was a lot of just neutral. Recently, a little bit more bearish, a bounce back. So slightly bearish, but not the most impactful one that we've ever seen. So just wanted to get that out there so you guys are a little bit more prepared. Later this week, tomorrow particularly bullish, Wednesday a little bit more neutral, a little bullish, Thursday definitely bullish, and then Friday definitely bearish. But once again, all of this stuff is 100% free. You don't have to pay for anything. mattcohrs.locals.com. If you want, that's the community center. And then from there, there's other things like the Piper Signal connection to the Discord. But that is like the hub where you can get everything. Obviously, if you want to join the Discord, you can, but you first have to become a supporter, which is a premium member. You could do that for free if you use the promo code Goonie, Goonie. If you want to join literally the best trading community, use that code Goonie, and then that's how you can get connected to the Discord for free. All right, so with that, a little bit later after market open, I want to talk about Jim Simons, as I alluded to before, the true GOAT of Wall Street. This guy, absolute amazing story. So we're going to come back to that when we have a little bit more downtime. But obviously, I know quite a few of you are in here to know what's going on with GameStop. Currently up 50%. GameStop is in the lower right of my screen. You know what? I'll put GameStop in the upper right, and I'm going to put Microsoft down here just because I know some of you from last week are following a particular swing play I did with Microsoft. So I'm excited to see where this one opens today. Should be very much in the green. Microsoft opening up a whole nother percent, closing at 415, 414 and change, opening at 418. GameStop is cruising, up 50%. The SPY is looking very strong. And with that being said, we do have to do the morning opening degenerate trade. So if you haven't already on YouTube, vote. And for Rumble, I need you guys to vote. Vote. YouTube versus Rumble. We are doing the market opening trade degeneracy. I need you guys to vote. On the left side, we have YouTube's account. On the right side, we have Rumble's account. This is trading competition number 8. Right now, YouTube is in the lead. And if you are this is your first time in the show, we just do a degenerate bet. We let the two chats compete against each other. And we're going to see green. Okay, definitely green. All right, bullish bullish. Okay. So on the left side, you have YouTube's account 233, and I turned on the bullish strategy. On the right side, you have Rumble's account. I turned on the bullish strategy. So this one should be firing in about 5 seconds. And then from there, we'll really see what's going on with GameStop. But the world's largest casino opening now.
Order submitted.
Are we going for it, brother? Are we going for it, brother?
Order filled.
Hello, team? Are you sure you wanted to pick bullish out of the gate?
Target filled.
Are you guys sure about that one? Well, my trades did seemingly well, 3.2 and 3.2, but are you guys about to blow out your accounts? Because this is what happened last time. Are you guys really sure about that vote? Are you guys really confident? You guys, I hope you don't blow it out. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. You guys better hope that there's a little bit of a turn there, because those accounts, if they go down 2.5K, they'll be completely blown out. But anyway, GameStop up here in the top right, it is up 44% as of now. Kind of going the way of the spine. The Q's a little bit of a hit out of the gate, but we'll see. We'll see. And then to check in on my Microsoft position, which I have been swinging now for like 2 or 3 days, maybe 2 days. No. I got into it on Friday. So this is the first full day. I got through it halfway. All right, let's see how this one's doing. It did update, but not over here. All right, we're gonna have to a little time pass. But anyway, Microsoft in the bottom right, GameStop in the top right, up 45%. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about as we're letting the market open, as we're also waiting to see if you guys are blowing out more accounts. How are you guys? Come on.
Order canceled.
You guys got to stop doing this.
Order canceled.
What are you guys doing? You're down, but you're fighting back. You're fighting back. Now, okay. As we're waiting to see if this does or doesn't get locked in, both YouTube and Rumble chats picked a bullish position this morning. If you were doing it at the, well, it was coming back your way, and now you guys are getting screwed once again. And by you guys, I mean me, because I'm the one who paid for and funded these accounts, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, okay, GameStop right here. It's in the top right. As more data, this is not looking good on the SPYs taking a hit out of the gate. We definitely need a quick turnaround. We need some time to pass, because that will allow the data to build here. We can see what's happening in real time. I'm on GameStop right now. When I'm saying this is the best software to know what is happening with the options market on GameStop, SpotGam is clearly it. So the white line is the price line. The green line is the notional delta for the closest expiration, which I believe for GameStop would probably be this Friday. And then the purple line is all of the expirations notional delta put together. So that's a really nerdy math way just to say, okay, is the options market getting bullish or is it getting bearish? Are people buying calls and selling puts, or are they buying puts and selling calls? So as these numbers go up, that would be bullish. That would very much be bullish. And we can see right here, people are getting way, way more into longer dated calls. You can see, right here in real time, longer dated calls, people are starting to buy them on GameStop. I should also probably point out to you that it's very expensive. Historically, this is a relative measurement, but when you see it this green, that means for both calls and puts, people are overpaying. If you are buying calls or buying puts right now, in either direction, it doesn't matter. The relative premium value, you're overpaying not just by a little bit, but by a shitload. Does that mean that you're going to lose? No, it just means look how this is where we would normally be. This is the normal measure of volatility. All the way down here, this is where we currently are. It's just absolutely insane how juiced this is. But this is some of the stuff we saw last time. Just because things are currently expensive, does that mean that it's absolutely horrible? No, it just means oh, wow. You guys are about to blow out. You guys are about to lose. Both Rumble and YouTube are about to lose trading competition number 8 in real time. You guys are going to lose these accounts. I cannot believe it. You guys were too jacked up. You guys were way, way, way too jacked up about what's happened with GameStop that you didn't think about the overall market. Fortunately for me, I realize that it should be faded. 3.2K, 3.2K. Not a bad day to lock in 6K, but you guys are about to lose your accounts. After all I do for you, this is how you guys treat me? This is how you treat me with these horrible, horrible call outs at the start of the day? They're about
Order
to go.
filled.
There they go. Losers.
Order submitted.
Losers. You guys just lost those accounts. A bunch of freaking losers. Well, fortunately for you, I have other bots on, so hopefully they make some of that money back. But, oh, there goes GameStop. There goes GameStop. There goes the old GameStop. This is crazy. SPX 0DTE volume increased to around 50% of the total SPX volume by mid-23 and has stabilized around the level. Similarly, single stock short data volume below 5 days to expiration is roughly 1/3 of options value. Wow. So SpotGam is actually, they're getting, CNBC's getting the information from them. That quote that I just read is from SpotGam on CNBC this morning. Basically, oh, did it halt? I think we halted. Halt. Upside halt. Whoa, things are getting a little bit frosty, team. Little bit frosty. GameStop just halted. First halt of the day. If you're new to this and you're like, well, what's happening? Like, what does that mean? There's many reasons of why a stock can be halted from trading, as in no buying, no selling. No one on the planet is trading it right now. It's literally halted at the exchanges. The most common one is referred to as a circuit breaker halt, and it basically just means that if you go up too much or down too much in a too short of a time frame, it gets halted. It's a 5-minute halt. It's a T1 halt. It's a circuit breaker halt. It's the most common form of a halt. You're going to see a lot of people, literally the fact that it already halted, you're going to see a lot of people saying, look at manipulation, they're stopping us. Please understand that it happens in both directions. If you go up or down too big of a percentage in too quick of a time, it automatically triggers a halt. There's no human sitting there saying, hey, I need this to stop trading. It's literally just an algorithm saying, did we move too much too quickly? If so, halt for 5 minutes. It does cut both ways. Now, you might think, oh, just in general, halts are a stupid rule. And I agree with you on that. But please understand, it doesn't just negatively impact the bulls. It doesn't just negatively impact the bears. It just impacts any wild movement, whether positive or negative. I myself think the rules are stupid. I'm not supportive of the rules, but it's just more of I want to get some actual information out there that it's not just like, it doesn't just impact one camp, not just the bull camp, not just the bear camp. It can theoretically impact both. So right now, after the halt, which it'll be halted for 5 minutes, if this were to drop, you'd have the downside circuit breaker halt. It does cut both ways. Like I said, I think the rules are stupid personally. Like, I don't know why we have these circuit breaker halts, because the whole thesis of them is if we halt the trading, it will calm things down. That's the whole point, is to calm down the craziness. Does it actually calm down the craziness? No. If anything, there's a lot of traders out there who they sit there and they have a scanner on and they wait for any new halts to be like to pop up, halted. So it actually draws more eyeballs to the equity that's moving like crazy. And if anything, I would argue that it actually creates more volatility. That's why I think the rule's stupid, is just because I think it literally does the opposite of what it's intended to do. But anyway, right now, GameStop is not trading. This is not decided by any of the brokerages. This isn't decided by Interactive Brokers, by Webull, by Robinhood. Brokerages don't decide when something is halted. The exchanges do. And remember, what a brokerage is it's just your connection to an exchange. So if you're on something like Robinhood is the middleman between you and the exchange. Robinhood is not the one who stopped the trading. The exchange is the one who stopped the trading, if that makes sense. Ignoring AMC, dude confirmed that you're paid off. Well, no, AMC is only moving because, once again, like before, it's a sympathy play. So if you're going to play something, you should play the original strong play. As always, AMC is once again only moving because GameStop is leading the way. We saw this in 2021. We saw this in 2022. We've been through this charade before. Why play the weak one when you could play the stronger one? We've seen it before. AMC is always the laggard. It's always the sympathy play. It's the group of people who were too slow to react to GME. So then they're like, oh, well, AMC's cheaper and I know it moved before. So it's always the people who are a little bit too slow and are honestly less informed about the market. So that's what we're seeing here. So why do I have it up? Well, yeah, of course we should have the main one up. Of course you should have the main one up. GameStop is the OG. If you think we would be talking about any
Target
of this
filled.
without GameStop, you need to have your head examined. You can make money on both. I'm not against you making money on either of them, but on both of them, I would say
Order
understand that
submitted.
you're in an active trade. As
Target
in,
filled.
this-
Target filled.
Jesus, we're going crazy over here. What's happening? We got some trades popping off. What accounts are these? 38 to 38.
Target filled.
All right, looks like it went short
Target
again.
filled. Target filled. Target filled. Target filled. Target filled.
Locking in some money. Money. It would have been great without you guys. You guys blew out 2 of my accounts, but beyond your trades, everything else is going swimmingly.
Target filled.
Look at this. Dude, this is just rocking right now. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, and 225. 300, 300, 300, 300, 3.2K, 3.2K. Yeah, without you guys, we would have actually had a pretty good day. We probably could have had a pretty good day. So you guys should think about that. But anyway, GameStop already trading again. The halt is over. A lot of the times when you see a halt, you very quickly see a clustering of other halts because of what I described before. It just like brings about like more craziness and more people paying attention to it. So I would not be surprised if we see multiple additional halts today on GameStop. So definitely watching to see how this one plays out. The SPY's getting hit, the Qs are getting hit, and GameStop is moving. 61% and counting. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Wow, that's crazy. Well, if you are looking to play GameStop, one of the most common questions that I'm always going to get is like, oh, okay, like, hang on, I see a lot of crazy things happening with like people not being able to trade. Where should I get stocks? Where should I get options? Folks, shout out to today's stream partner. I'm talking about public.com. If you are interested in GameStop, AMC, anything like that, if you want to buy or sell stock, buy or sell options, whether calls or puts, your best option is Public. You might be thinking, why is that the best option? Why shouldn't I be using one of the competitive brokers? Well, I can explain it, and I can explain it very, very quickly. If you're buying stock, GameStop, AMC, if you are buying or selling stock, Public does not participate in payment for order flow. They do not have some weird deal with Citadel, Virtu, any of these market makers to send them the order flow. They trade on lit exchanges. So if you want to buy any of these, you should be trading on a lit exchange. Why would you not be trading on a lit exchange? Do not let them sell your order flow to these market makers. So on the stock side of thing, Public has your back. No payment for order flow. All of your trades going to a lit exchange. Now, if you're trying to trade options, that's even more evident. There is no other broker on this planet that pays you to trade options. You can earn up to 18 cents per contract traded. When you buy, when you sell, for each single contract, you can get up to 18 cents. No one else does that. You cannot name another broker on this planet that pays you to trade options. You cannot name another broker on this planet that not only pays you to trade options, but also does not engage in payment for order flow on the stock side. So regardless of if you're trying to play with stocks or if you're trying to play with options, Public is your best option. If you are looking at another brokerage to engage in this current craziness, you're already at a disadvantage. Many of the other most popular brokerages, if you're buying or selling stock, if you're on Robinhood, if you're on Webull, you are engaging in payment for order flow. They are selling your trade orders to market makers. You are not going to a lit exchange. And if you do, it would happen sub 1% of the time. If you are trading options on the other side of it, all those other ones, none of them are going to give you a rebate. This is the only one that gives you a rebate. Check it out. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. No commission fees, no per contract fees. It is by definition the most cost-effective way to trade option. And also, you don't have to worry about market makers when you're buying or selling stock. There's no payment for order flow. They have no dealings with these other market makers such as Citadel or Virtu or anything like that. So if you want to protect yourself on the stock side and do better on the option side, Public is clearly your best option. It is pinned to the top of chat. It is in the description of the video. It is free to download. It is free to sign up, and you're going to get various bonuses when you sign up. So just follow the link. It's pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. But if you are actively trying to take advantage of this right now, of the craziness with GameStop, of the craziness with any other stock, equity, or option, I seemingly see no better option for any of us beyond Public. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. I mean, there's a lot of people who are probably excited about this right now, as am I. I mean, second halt of the day, things are already going crazy. It's up how much percent? 69%. LOL. There's a lot of people who don't even know what payment for order flow is. And payment for order flow is the practice of you buying or selling on your brokerage. Then the broker doesn't send your order to an exchange such as the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, IEX, ARCA, any of those. Instead, they send it to a market internalizer, aka a market maker, such as Citadel, such as Virtu. Those are the two biggest ones. There are other ones, but between those two, they have about 50% of the market making share. So it's off exchange. Your trades are not going to a lit exchange. They're being internalized by these massive market makers. And what they're doing is playing the spread. So you have the bid and the ask. They're using your order. They play the other side and they're shaving pennies off of it. So basically it's just never hitting a lit exchange ever. It's trading. This gets really into the nitty gritty of it, but it's an ATS, an alternative trading system. It's not technically a dark pool, but it is off exchange. And I think sometimes those are conflated, but it's market making. That's what you have. It is market making. And if you guys have questions about that, I can answer it a little bit later. Like I said, you're kind of getting into the weeds of what that is. But overall, I mean, this is according to Gary Gensler himself, that it's a clear conflict of interest. Do they really have their clients' best interests at heart when really what drives them, such as Robinhood and Webull, they make money off of selling this? Now, you might care or might not care about that. And okay, that's up to you for sure. Like maybe that's just something that you don't care about in your trading, and that's fine. You're entitled to that thought and that opinion. But for those of you who do care, obviously it's not that hard to like get away from it. You just have to be on the right brokerage. Halt. Yeah, this is the second halt of the day. Halt number two. Halt number two. Very quickly. So we have up the spot gamma. This is for GME, which you can see the halt. You can see exactly where it's halted. Trading, bullish, halted. Bullish, halted again. So that's actually kind of wild to see in real time. You can see exactly where the halts are. So this one, the halt appears to be at 9:42 and 20 seconds. It's a 5-minute halt. It'll start trading again at 9:47. 9:47. So let's see how that plays out. And while we're waiting for that, let's look at the options market for the overall market. Got it. Hero. I just want to see what's going on with the SPY because the SPY does look a little bit heavy today. A little bit heavy. So options dove with, this is for the SPY. Once again, this is the S&P 500. This other one is for GME. GME up here, just look in the top right to know what we're actually looking at. The white line is the price line. The other two lines are for what's happening in the 0DT and then the all expiration. But you can see dove pretty heavily, bounced back up, kind of diving again, currently flat. And then if you look at GameStop, bullish, people buying calls, doing nothing with puts, flat, buying calls again, halts again. And now we are just flat, waiting. Absolutely crazy. This is insane to watch. Absolutely insane to watch. Now, while we're waiting for some of this to play out, we're trading again. I just want to see, did all of my trades lock in here? No, they did not. 42. I was going to manually trade some of these today. I don't know if that's smart or stupid, but I need to make some of the money back that you guys blew out on me. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. All right, I'm going to wait, though. I'm going to be a little bit more patient, wait till like at least 10 a.m. to do some of these manual trades. But anyway, the SPY not looking so good, potentially bottoming. Potentially. We're seeing a bit more of a dive in options. That might be dragging it down. GameStop, if we keep seeing this volatility, you'll see a third halt. So as of now, just while like I know there's like a lot of crazy stuff going on, is there any questions in terms of payment for order flow? What's happening with GME in terms of actually that's one thing we haven't looked at. What is the current borrow rate for GME? We didn't look at the live numbers. Well, let's go and give you the short interest and whatnot. GME. All right, shorts. Let's get this info out there. Live short interest. Okay, short interest is estimated to be 25%. And what are people borrowing at? The cost to borrow as of Friday's close was 6%. We've actually almost tripled. We're at a max of 22, a min of 12, and it's clocking in at 15.6%. 15.6% cost to borrow. The estimated short interest is 25%. 25%. Looks like it was halted again. So I think that's the third halt. So if you have any questions, you can call in right now. If you have questions about options, public, spot gamma, what in the world's happening, if you think I'm wrong on any of this, you guys can call in. The number is 570-209-8435. Once again, you guys can call in right now. My mods will be putting the number in chat. You can call in, ask your question. You could argue with me. I guess try to be a little bit respectful so the stream's not taken down. But anyway, 570-209-8435. Once again, that is 570-209-8435. You can call in. I'll play it right now. Don't say something so stupid that the stream gets taken down. But if you have questions, comments, concerns, you could ask or you could share it. Maybe you're just some silly, absolutely silly AMC loyalist who is mad that I just don't have it on the screen. But a better question is, why in the world would I have that piece of shit on the screen? That is also a very, just something for us to all think about, I would argue. What would 67? We're gonna bounce.
Order filled.
So
Order submitted.
all right, I'm gonna see if I can catch this bounce here on some of these manual trades. We'll see how it goes. Options are starting to pick up, so I'm wondering if we're actually bottoming on the day. We'll find out soon enough. Don't forget to sign up for public. No payment for order flow in the stocks, and you get paid to trade options. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. All right. We're going to see if we actually bounce here. Microsoft getting clobbered. Dude, I had such a good open, and now it's just getting destroyed. Well, it's actually only down 0.8%. Meta's getting hit too, oddly enough. GameStop is now up 81%. 81%. Wow. Now, how is it like, obviously, this is a very, very good run. So from the recent low in late April, it is up 216%. But relative to where it's been, it has quite a bit of room to keep going. If this thing can get above 50, I think we can, like, we're already seeing crazy fireworks, but I think things can get really, really nuts above 50. Just we have this high back in March of 22 and about August of 22. So this is a crazy gain, but understand for the people who chased it the first time around, there's a lot of, like, quote unquote OG apes who are still deeply underwater. So it'll be interesting to see if this could take out 40, 50, and who knows? I mean, up 81%, and this stuff, it's just, you just never really know. You can never really, it's just, by definition, it's a black swan event. It's not like you can fairly model this. The most interesting information we have on it is monitoring in real time what's going on with the short interest and monitoring in real time what's happening with the options. If you want to monitor with the options, the answer is spot gamma. If you want to monitor the short interest, the answer is Ortex. Ortex and spot gamma both are in the description of the video if you need a link to find it. I think both offer a free trial, but if you want the real-time analysis, these are your best two tools. And really, the information we're getting from spot gamma is the fact that we've spent more time halted today than we have actually trading, which I find a bit interesting. AA truly screwed over AMC. Yeah, AMC would be way better off without that piece of shit involved with the company. Adam Aron is a horrible, horrible human being. He's a horrible, horrible businessman. And he honestly, his entire track record just shows that he's taking advantage of stupid people. And then yet he's so stupid himself that he gets like catfish. He thought he was like messaging like an underage girl, but it turns out it was a lady who was older catfishing him. It was a whole debacle. And the fact that anyone is still somewhat supportive, I would actually be way, way more supportive of AMC if they just got rid of that old creepy scumbag. But those are just my opinions. If you guys want to support an old creepy scumbag, hey, it's America. You can do whatever you want. You are more than free. It is your God-given American right to support whatever scumbag you want. I just choose to support people who are a little bit less scummy than Adam Aron. GameStop popping again, unhalted. Did it already halt? Yep. 4th halt of the day. Look at this. Halted, quickly popped. Insane. Halt again. I believe that's the 4th halt of the day. We got to start the official halt counter. The official halt counter here. Insane how many halts this has seen. With respect to the overall market, trying to pick up, but a little bit lethargic. This is just going to keep halting. 4th halt of the day. All right. I snagged this bad mamma jamma. I just wanted to go a little bit more. I wanted to touch 84 so I can move my stop to break even, and then maybe I just have a runner on the day. But right as I do that, I'm getting a little bit cocky. Shoot. I probably should have taken... I really just thought it was going to come back here and touch 84. We'll see. We'll see. Just a little bit of a long position on the Nasdaq futures market. GameStop, 4 halts of the day. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Have you guys been calling in? Voicemail. I'm going to the voicemails. Let's see what you guys, messages, voicemails. All right.
Hey, Matt. It's Fast Tony here. I was just wondering why it is that when I tell my wife, no matter how many women I sleep with, I will never leave her, she gets mad at me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe your wife just doesn't understand certain basic aspects of supply and demand, and maybe you need to sit her down with a diagram and be like, no, there's only like me, like I'm the only supply, but if I'm in higher demand, it's actually more valuable. So really you need to picture yourself as a higher value asset. Yeah, and I think a basic diagram, supply and demand, I think that would really answer a lot of the questions that she may or may not have.
Order filled.
April, it is up 260.
It's just one of those things. You try to lead a horse to water.
Order filled.
And I try to lead you to GameStop.
Crazy fireworks. But I think things can get...
And sometimes people just don't want to be led. It's okay, man. I still love you.
You try to lead me to GameStop? The guy who made his entire content career off of GameStop and was the guy who covered it since 2021? You're trying to let me know about it? I think this might be a little bit of a revisionist history, if you ask me.
Matthew. My name's Adam Arujo. IRUJO. You blocked me like 2 years ago. I didn't do anything. Just trying to get unblocked. Thank you for what you do. Goodbye.
No, I don't really unblock people. If I blocked you, it's probably for a really good reason. So it's funny whenever people get blocked, they're like, oh, I swear I didn't do anything. No, you did something. And I'm not going to waste a second of my day trying to figure out what you did or didn't do. But I don't unblock people.
Hey, Matt, long-time watcher, long-time subscriber. Just wanted to let everybody in the chat know. Can you remind them of how many shares it is that you got on AMC and GME? Everybody seems to forget that you bought shares and still holding them. Anyway, sucks about the loss of your money. Can't wait to see you at the Soup Kitchen. Bye.
I don't have any AMC. As of the start of this year, I publicly sold it all.
Logic Bamba here just to say that GME to the moon. Let's fucking go.
Electric Bamba, shout out.
Hey, baby. I told you to buy GameStop.
That's interesting. That's a strange message.
Hello, this is Robin Hood. We are about to halt the buying of any meme stock soon, just to let you know.
It sounds real. I think that was real Robin Hood calling in to let us know what's going on.
Hey, Matt, I know we blew our load early today, but will you call us tomorrow?
Call you tomorrow.
Order filled.
About blowing your load early.
Order filled.
Is that what we're chatting about? Hang on. I think that's it. Or do I need to reload? We have some from the weekend, but I reloaded the wrong page. My apologies. I think that's what we have. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Feel free to call in. The number is 570-209-8435. Once again, that is 570-209-8435. My mods will put it in chat, but we are popping today. Look at this go. We're up 109%. 109, 110. Halted. Is this the fifth halt? I think we have officially halt number 5. Officially have our halt number 5. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Is the market going to bounce though? So this is the current real-time options information for the S&P 500. The white line is the price line. The other two lines relate to the world of options. Obviously, we dump. We're bouncing back up. A little bit of a bounce here. If you want to see GameStop, it's a lot more messy because of the halt. All these flat lines, just there was no market trading, so nothing was going on. So halt, halt, halt. Just nuts. But you can see the price is literally almost like a piecewise function, just jumping up, jumping up, jumping up, up. 110%. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Well, since we are on halt, whatever, I think this is a very, very good time to talk about things that went wrong the first time around that I think we could all learn this time around. The first time around, the worst thing that cost a lot of people a lot of money was this concept of diamond handing and selling for no reason. Let me tell you, the people who made money on all of this, GameStop, AMC, BBBY, like the list, like Kohrs, all of them. If it was a meme, the people who made money were people who they might not have known it, but they used a trend following system. So as soon as things started to turn by their own definition of terming, they cut the ripcord. Do not be married to this position. Be married to the position if you're an investor. If you think, no, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, this company will be even better. It'll be at a higher value. Great, being an investor, but then you wouldn't care about this anyway. If you're an investor, you don't care about the day-to-day movement. You definitely don't care about the minute-to-minute movement. So you have to ask yourself, are you an investor or are you a trader? Most people in this are traders. They're not saying, oh, I'm buying right now, because when you invest, you want to invest when it's cheap, and then you forget about it in your long-term account for whatever, 10, 20, 30 years. That's an investor. And hey, if you want to be an investor in any of this stuff, I wish you the best of luck. I really, really do. If you're a trader, this idea of being a diamond hand and just holding no matter what, it's retarded. And this isn't just like a hypothetical call out by me. I lived through this. The people who made like way more tendies than you could, like I've seen people make millions and millions and millions of dollars off of this. It's one thing to go up money. Don't let it disappear. Your goal should not be to bottom tick and to top tick. Your goal should be to get the meat of the move. So as long as it's trending in your favor, ride it, ride it, ride it. And then if you, in your own estimation, think that the trend's over, take your money, leave. The big thing that went wrong with all of this is people fell for the troll. They didn't realize the trolls were trolling them and buying into this concept of diamond handing. When really, the smart people who were pitching this concept of diamond handing, they were selling out into it the entire freaking time. Don't be the person, don't be the lemming who gets caught there. This is an opportunity where you can make a lot of money for not doing a lot. Don't let it disappear. Don't fumble this opportunity. They have somehow apparently captured lightning in a bottle once again. So if you are a trader, once again, I'm not talking about investing. If you are an active trader, don't let it go up and then come all the way back down. Like a ball thrown into the air, when it starts to arc back over, that's when you take your money. And even if you're wrong, and you might be thinking to yourself, but hang on, like what if it's a fake out and it gets going again? You could buy more. You can always get back in. But what you can't do is if you miss it and it drops horribly, you can't go back in time and be like, oh, I wish I sold there. So and I want to be very clear, I'm talking about the active traders. If you think the trend's over, take your money. If you were wrong about it and the trend persists, you can get back in. But if you're right, You already have your money. You took your money off the table and you missed the dagger. So please, I beg of you, do not fall for this diamond hand bullshit again. There are too many people who are too new to the market and they didn't understand the trolling nature of Reddit, and they don't realize that they were being trolled into this concept of, oh, don't sell no matter what. No, the people who made money, they did so by having a trailing stop loss, a trend following system. When things started to turn, they took their money and they moved on with their life. And some of them made millions and millions and millions of dollars. Don't be the fucking dipshit who doesn't, like, if you already got a ticket on the rocket ship, you're riding this money train and you're making tendies and tendies and tendies. You got to get off to take it. You can't just sit. The whole point of you doing this is to make money. So if you never realize the money, what the fuck was the point of you doing this? And I think people like to stand behind this like weird form of trading again, of like virtue signals, like, oh, I'm in this for the message. No, the fuck you aren't. You only say that to yourself because you missed out on making money. I never ever heard any of this bullshit of I'm in it for the cause until people started not being absurdly greedy again. Be honest with yourself. You're in this play because you're a greedy little fuck and you want to make money. Don't mess that up. I'm imploring you to be that greedy little fuck. But don't be the person who's like greedy. Great, I'm up money. It turns against you. It goes red. And now you're like, no, I'm fighting for a cause. Don't be that fucking dumbass. Ride it. Be the greedy person you know you are. Be the capitalist you know you are. You're in this to make money. Don't fuck that up. Make money. If you have a certain profit target, great, stick with it. That's not how I would do it. I would do more of a trend following thing. I would just, because you don't know if your profit target is way too high, way too low, just barely off. I think trend following, but that's also a personal opinion. Obviously, you could do whatever you want with it. But dude, this idea of like, I'm just going to hold it because I'm sending a message. I'm telling you, Wall Street doesn't give a fuck about your message. Yeah, maybe a couple funds blow up, a couple people make money, a couple people lose money. But you in your individual situation, your job is to put food on your table. Your job is to make your financial health a bit better. I don't know if you guys have been looking around. The economy's not heading in a good direction. We have serious inflation. Prices are going up and up and up. The opportunity to find a good paying job that meets the ratio of rising increase, they're declining. Your job is for you and your family. Your job is not to think that you holding your one random call position, your 10 random call positions is going to send some big message to Ken Griffin and you're taking down market makers. It's not going to fucking happen. Take care of you and your family. Don't be so fucking retarded to fall for some of this stuff. We're like, no, I'm just sending the message. I'm just sending it. No, it's wrong. I've lived through it. I've seen it. Do not fuck this up. Don't fall for some of the bullshit that's out there. If you are up a crazy amount of money right now, I congratulate you. If you want to keep that crazy amount of money, use a basic trend following system. If it's going up and up and up, you're in the play. If it starts to break down, whatever, an SMA, an EMA, if you have a percentage trail stop, whatever it is, I don't care. Just use something that's realistic. If you're wrong, you can re-enter. If you're right, you made money. Everything's good. If there's questions about it, feel free to message it in, call it in. I'm more than happy to discuss it. If you think it's just wrong, you're like, I'm going to diamond hand it. I want you to know from the absolute depths of my heart, if you're sitting there and you're like, no, man, I'm in for the cause. I'm in for the cause, brother. I'm going to diamond hand. I need you to know with every single fiber of my being how retarded I think you are. It's so encompassing of my soul that like, you got to stop bashing your head off the wall. You're going to prompt me to donate more money to like a fetal alcohol syndrome charity. Like it will destroy me to the depths of my soul if you are that stupid with it. I would rather you be like, Matt, I hate you so much. Ha ha ha. I made money. You don't know what you're talking about. Be the person who trolls me by showing how much money you made. Don't be the person who trolls me by saying you're a paid shill, but actually you lost a lot of money. Your trolls on me, your like gotchas on me will work so much better if you can show a big winner. No one cares about being a martyr when you died poor. No one cares about that. Be the person who trolls me by making money. Embarrass me by having your bank account explode, your portfolio explode. That's the best way to get back at me and everyone else. That's how you're going to troll the rest of the world, is by you being successful in this, not by being the guy, I was up. So, dude, this is the rambling, ranting of a person who was up $600,000, $750,000 on AMC, and then I drank the Kool-Aid, I was in on the cause, and I lost it all. This is a person who has put his hand on the hot oven, and before you put your hand on the hot oven, I'm telling you, don't touch the fucking hot oven. This is not just an opinionated hypothetical thing. This is advice from a guy who completely fumbled it before. 100% undeniably fumbled it before. I am begging you to hear my words of protect your downside. That's how you're going to win at this. I beg of you. I beg of you. But some of you will listen, and the other ones of you are going to fucking lose, and then you're going to have anxiety and depression, and it's going to ruin your life probably. But hey, whatever. I'm not going to be able to help all of you, but even if I help one of you, my job's done. As long as I help one of you, my job is successfully completed. So that's my goal here. As long as one, oh shit. Oh, what's the market doing today? Are we breaking down, breaking out? Flat. Options are flat. It is 10:10, and our market is not really deciding which way it wants to go. So the Qs almost hit the close value from Friday, and the SPY did not. Now GameStop's starting to fall. It did tag 38 down to 31. Low of the day is 25. If we look at what's happening, you can see options are starting to dump. Some of these call players are closing out their longer dated calls. That doesn't mean they won't buy back in, but we are trading again. GameStop trading again. Trading again. All right, let's set up some breakdown alerts. Let's set up some low of day alerts. Let's see if we can see any opportunity. Opportunity. All right. Which way are we going today? Which way are we going? Maybe we do need GME to keep the market alive. The market had a little bit more strength when GME was still ripping. All right, check in here. Options may be diving a little bit on the S&P 500. Options definitely turning on GameStop right now. Oh, it's so ugly with all those halts. You could just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different halts. It's only 10, 12 in the morning, and we already have 6 different halts on GME. Is this a pump and dump? What do you mean by a pump and dump? Is the stock price being pumped? Yes. Will it dump? Most likely. But when people say pump and dump, it almost has the connotation of like there's like a coordinated effort to prompt that. I have no idea if that's happening. But when things move this quickly, gravity wins out. It's just when things go this insane, they don't just go insane and stay there. They go insane and come back down. They come back. It's mean reversion. The golden question is, how big will it go? That's the big question. And no one knows. There is no math model I've ever seen that like accurately explains, oh, okay, like this is the percentage it can go. And that's why I think trend following is the best way to do it. I don't know if the height is 38. I don't know if it's 380. I don't know if it's 3,800. I do not know. And no one on the planet knows. That's why if the trend exists, if it just keeps going, great, you're in on it. You ride the trend. That is your job. But this idea of like trying to be predictive of like where it's going to squeeze to or nothing. Yes, I would bet any amount of money right now if we go on to Twitter, FinTwit, X or whatever, YouTube, all forms of social media. Right now, people are like, oh, based on my model, this is happening, that's happening, blah, blah, blah. Dude, they're all wrong. They're all fucking snake oil salesmen. They're trying to sell you some like just dumb bullshit. Folks, keep it simple, stupid. If you're in and you're bullish and you caught it, great. You have a fish on the line. Ride it. If you think it's turning, take your money and move on with your life. It's that simple. You don't have to do some crazy like, oh, I saw this model, but then I learned this about dark pools, and then I saw this, that, the other thing, and look at this, the meme, it's red and it's not green, and then that means this, and then Ken Griffin, he bought this house, which means that. It's like, dude, it's silly. It's so silly. It is by definition absurdly silly. So I would just say keep it simple. Just ride it. If the trend is going, be bullish. If the trend stopped, take your money and move on with your life. You really, really don't need to overcomplicate this. Yeah, we now have 6. Is this right? I had shut down. Oh, I saw something about Robinhood in the overnight, the 24-hour trading, shutting that down. GameStop hits $10 billion in market cap for the first time since October of 22. That is crazy. This is absolutely insane. GameStop, ticker symbol GME, is now a $10 billion company for the first time since the OG squeeze. And the last time it was at this level was October of 22. The stock is up over 100% today, and it has been halted at the time that I'm filming this 6 times. Since April 23rd, GME has now added $6 billion in market cap. The return of Roaring Kitty, aka deep effing value, to X has sparked a return of the 2021 meme stock rally. As a result, GameStop is now one of the 600 largest public companies in the US. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Wow. I can't believe it. And it was all because of that tweet. He gained 100,000 followers in less than 24 hours. GameStop is just going nuts. Absolutely going nuts. And now we're popping. And now we're popping. Man, so I'm still trading on the futures market. Like, it's looking good for me every so often. Like, that pop looked good. I was like, oh, we're going to get going. It was up like $700-800. And now I'm giving it back. There we go, 500. Just go. Just break out. I should probably just set a stop. I'm in at 25. I'm just worried that I haven't moved that much. I could put a stop in at 86 and not risk any money.
Order submitted.
And then I guess re-enter. Like, why risk it? I've already taken some losing trades, but if it breaks and rips, I just don't want to miss the move. I do think we recover. I'm just starting to see the SPY's going flat, but the NASDAQ picking up. So this is the options market for the NASDAQ, aka QQQ, and Q. It's just the NASDAQ 100 picking up, showing a bit more strength. If we go back to the SPY, not really moving, but flat. So maybe the downward trend is over. For those of you curious about GameStop, this is GME's real time. There's no, getting hit. You can see that the options are turning with the price. So, and the orange line is all expiration calls. You can see the calls were getting purchased all the way up until about 9:53. And now since then, they're taking a bit of a hit. So people were buying calls, and now they're getting out of those calls, and then puts have been flat pretty much like all day. People are scared to buy puts because the stock is absolutely ripping. I'm a little bit surprised that longer dated puts aren't being purchased, but it's already halted again. GameStop halted. Halted. Ooh, it's picking up. Up 1K. Keep going. All right. Let's see if I can sell one of these at 10. Sell.
Order submitted.
All right. Let's see if I could hit some of these. I'm not going to lose any money on this play because I have the stop in the green. So no matter what, like, it's a scratch trade, but it would be nice if at least one of these profit targets gets hit. It'd be nice if one of these gets hit. Options starting to pick up ever so slightly. 10-18. What are we doing? We're flat, man. Kind of reminiscent of Friday where we had a move at first and then from there, nothing really happened. GameStop trading again, currently just below $30. Obviously, we could keep monitoring the options market to see what does or doesn't happen. I should probably put an alert breakout for the intraday high if we do have this recovery. All right. The real-time short interest data on GME is here. 24.9%, utilization 96. Oh, wait. Excuse me. The real-time short interest is 25%. Estimated live is 67 million shares, and there's not much of a borrow change. The average cost to borrow today is 16%. As of Friday, it was 6%. So we're seeing more interest in taking out shares on loan. Matt, thanks for the rant. I had the GME weekly C20. You snapped me back to my AMC days where I torched 90 unrealized links. Yeah, don't fumble it. Don't fumble it. Don't fumble it. Don't fumble it. Do you recommend exercising or selling long calls options as they gain momentum? Well, exercising just turns it into stock, so that's up to you. Do you want the stock or no? It's 100% up to you. If you want to lock in the gains, you would just sell the option. But if you want the stock and to ride the stock, you would exercise it. So the question to you is, do you want the stock or not? And shout out to Billy. Buongiorno, me brother. 36 months, 3 years of fun in the sun with Billy. I appreciate it. Billy, some refer to him as the anchor of the community, the glue that keeps this community together. Our degenerate gambling brother from the north. This is only one of many more green days to come. Maybe. I mean, you don't know. That's kind of the whole point, is you never know what the next... Is this another halt? What's this, halt 8? Halt 8? Are we on halt 8 already? I would bet so much money that if you just open up X right now, you're going to find people like, oh my God, look at, it's just all manipulation. They're stopping it. It's like, dude, we've halted to the upside. We've halted to the downside. You see a bunch of these halts. It's just how it happens. I think halting in general is stupid. I don't want to see any of these halts. I am not a fan of any of the halts, but it's not particularly against the Bulls. It's not particularly against the Bears. It's against whatever the movement is. If you have a big movement to the upside, it halts it. If you have a big movement to the downside, it halts it. You can see limit up, limit down. It's LUD, limit up, limit down. If you want to search it and read more about it, that's what the halts are. Limit up, limit down. Get a non-leveraged sell order on before they take away the option. I don't think they will this time around. I think they have enough capital. So the reason they stopped the trading on it on some brokerages historically was because this gets really into the weeds of it. But for those of you who are curious, all the brokerages, they are based on net settlement. So at the end of the day, they look at their whole client list and they say, okay, are we a net buyer or a net seller of GameStop? What do we need to be doing? Do we need to be buying it from the market or selling it? And then they go to what's referred to as the DTCC, the Depository Trust Clearing Corp. They go there and say, okay, cool. I'm the net buyer. I'm the net seller. And they have to either sell shares if they're the net seller or buy them if they're the next buyer. So at the DTCC, which is where all the brokerages go at the end of the day because it's net settlement, not gross settlement. They just didn't have enough money there. That's what happened with GameStop with Robinhood in the original GameStop thing. They did not have enough money. So the brokerage itself was getting margin called by the DTCC. And just because they were outside of their risk parameters, apparently it was like a 30 sigma like move. They just like, as in like statistically it was never supposed to happen. Since then, allegedly, they've reviewed some of the risk models. And since then, Robinhood has actually had more capitalization put at the DTCC. So for those of you who are like wondering, hang on, like how did this all happen? Simply because Robinhood did not, and other brokerages as well, but Robinhood was like kind of the face of retail trading at that moment in time. They just did not have enough money at the DTCC to do what they needed to do. So they got margin called. And even with that, they quickly raised about $3 billion, I believe, if memory serves correct. I believe they raised about $3 billion pretty much overnight. But to help mitigate the risk, they minimize how much you can buy, what you can or can't do. If they did that again, I think the odds of them doing that again are low. If they did it again, I would actually be willing to bet that that's the like end of the company. I don't think that they would be able to withstand stopping people in mass from buying GME stock or calls a second time. I truly think it would be the end of them. I think it would just blow the company up. So I guess kind of the fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Folks, if you're on Robinhood, you're just asking for trouble. I mean, they've burned the entire squeeze community before. Why would you keep doing that? That's exactly why I think you should be on something better like Public, but that's just one man's opinion who's lived through this whole thing. How many halts in one day for it to be suspended for the rest of the day? There's not a limit like that. Happy 38 months, LOL. Love you all. Today feels like the old days. Shout out, Camille. Shout out. How's this position, dude? Ooh, we're almost at my first target. Almost at the first target. Hopefully locking in some money. Keep going. Keep going. Come on. Lock it in. Lock it. I want to lock in 1, lock in 2, and then I have a runner. Just doing a little bit of manual trading on the futures market to keep me somewhat occupied. Come on. Lock in 1. Let's take off. Let's take some risk off the table. Keep going. Keep going there, brother. All right. I have 3 NASDAQ contracts, basically bought the dip, and I'm trying to unload 1 of the 3, and then up here would be 2 of the 3, but come on, just lock it in. Keep going. We're right there. We're right there.
Order
there we
filled.
go. All right, cool.
Order canceled.
All right, and then I just need to put in a new stop order. Sell.
Order submitted.
So no matter what, no matter what, I'm up on the play. Actually, should I move this even higher now? Yeah, I'll move my stop even higher to just ensure that I get the money I feel I'm owed. And then hopefully the second one locks in all the way up there. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Can it be halted in after hours? Yeah, because there's many types of halts. Sometimes, a lot of the times in like the pharmaceutical world, you'll hear of halts for like pending news. So like a big announcement for like an FDA trial. It's not like big movement, i.e. circuit breaker halts are the only form of halt. There's a whole list of reasons stock can be halted. So like pending news, an SEC investigation. Some of these are quick as 5 minutes, and then some halts last like weeks and weeks and weeks if the company's being investigated. Like you'll see that in the world of penny stocks. Not often, but you'll see it in penny stocks where a stock might just be halted for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. Hey, Matt, teach what you're doing. More than happy to. That's exactly why we have the Discord that you guys can all join for free. So if you want to learn more about this advanced options analysis that we do here with SpotGam and what this all means, if you want to learn more about futures trading, algorithmic futures trading, that's exactly what this Discord is for free. You could join for free if you use the code Goonie. So it's not free if you don't use the code. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. The first month is 100% free because I don't want anyone to feel like they got. Sign up, use the code, it's free. If you like it, great, stick around. If you don't, okay, I understand it's not for everyone, but to very quickly pitch you on like why it's worth it, it's a basic business decision. Do you make more money being in there than not being in there? And just to give you an example of the call outs from last week, the Piper trading system traded with perfection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 perfect call outs in a row that you could have all got for free. 8 call outs, 2 per day, Monday to Thursday. Ended up not doing it Friday because I was doing a lecture instead. 8 perfect trades in a row that you could have got for free, obviously paying for like multiple years of the service if you so choose. So in terms of a pure business decision, yeah, I would argue you would make more being in there than not being in there. But once again, I don't want people to feel like they got like bamboozled or tricked or hoodwinked or anything like that, which is why if you use the code Goonie, you'll be able to get in for free your first free month. Check it out. I mean, we do lectures at least once a week, a lot of lectures. It's over 1,000 people of really, really informed people just trying to share their knowledge and their thoughts on the market. Oops, hang on. Speaking of trades, is this one about to come bite me in the ass? Look at all those profit targets taken out of the gate. Look at all those profit targets. All right, we don't need this. We don't need this. We definitely don't need this, or this. Actually, I could remove all that. Remove. And actually, I think everything else is traded, I believe. So let me just take this. We don't need any of these on it anymore. All right, cool beans. So I was long 3, and this is the way you can trade stocks, the way you could trade options, the way you could trade futures, stocks, options, crypto, Forex. This is futures. It's just a different market. So it's a whole nother market. I like to trade futures for various reasons. There's no pattern day trading, which is the number one. It trades on a Globex session, so it's trading 23 hours out of the day from Sunday night until Friday evening. So I like the trading hours better. I like the fact that there's no pattern day trading, and I also like the leverage of it. But obviously, leverage can be like a double-edged sword. Of if you're on the right side, you can make a lot of money. So, like for example, I just caught the bounce from 10.16 till now, and I'm up $800. So that's quite a bit of leverage because I rode the Qs from 443 to 443.35. So this 35-cent movement in my favor in the Qs, like I said, it's highly leveraged. That's how I'm up $800. So once again, just to be completely honest and earnest with all of you, it's a double-edged sword, because if you're wrong a lot. But if you're right, you could be right a lot. So the way options are leveraged, futures is another leverage product. Leverage is icky. Yeah, I mean, it depends if you're on the right or wrong side of it, for sure. The 5-minute red, but trying to get back up. The 10-minute also, well, green, but below it, trying to get going. The 30-minute bouncing perfectly off of the 48 EMA. The 5-minute on the NASDAQ trying to get back up. The 10-minute trying to recover. And the 30-minute also bouncing. Strange opening today. The Qs are a bit stronger, while the SPY bounced ever just a little bit, and now it's flat sideways. This is the options market right now for the S&P 500, just flat sideways with price. If you look at the NASDAQ, as the price has been picking up, so were the options, but the options are starting to turn a little bit right now. There is a put wall on NDX, the NASDAQ 100 index, at 18,210, maybe something to pay attention to. Do I want to just take my money?
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm locking that in. It feels like it's dumping. The reason I took my money off the table right there is not only is the price turning, but I'm also seeing options starting to turn. They spiked at 1024. Now I'm seeing people, what are they doing? They're buying puts and also getting out of their calls. So it was just time for me to say, yo, peace. Yo, peace. Matt, legit question. Why do you think AMC is double the volume because of the volume despite the big news for GME? Well, it's not really big news. One guy tweeted, but GME is a $33 stock. AMC is a $3 stock. So if anything, it has double the volume, but it's a tenth of the price. For it to be a fair comparison, it should have 10x the volume. This isn't some massive, look at the dollar volume traded. It's a tenth of the price and it's only traded double the problem. That's a problem. That actually shows you that way more people care about GME. AMC only has double the volume and it's a tenth of the price. A tenth of the price. So it would be comparing apples to apples if, hang on, do I want to trade again? Where was this one? If it had 10x the volume, but it doesn't. So if anything, that actually shows relative not relative weakness. That's not fair, because weakness sounds like a stock price thing. That shows relative lack of interest. Lack of interest, if that makes sense. Indicators. Wow, that was quite the vomit there. Matt, how do you feel about rum stock over the next 5 years? I haven't really thought about a 5-year horizon, but I'm invested in rum. So even longer than that, I'm a fan. What did Roaring Kitty say? He posted a picture. He posted a picture of a guy getting, right here. This is what Roaring Kitty did. Roaring Kitty, this is what he posted. First tweet in about 3 years, and it crushed it. And I did some of the math on this, but check this out. This was in pre-market, so it's now more, but GameStop short sellers are approaching $1 billion in cumulative losses in the month of May alone. And after this morning, it's going to obviously be more. Every single piece of GameStop I buy, I will never sell, no matter what, stock up or stock down. Perma donations to the cause against the system. Diamond hands until I stop breathing. Well, I don't really get the point of that. Yeah, short sellers have lost $1 billion in the first hour of trading. Jesus. That's crazy. So Roaring Kitty tweeted again, and GME's up 50%, AMC's up 20%. Apparently E-Trade is down. E-Trade getting murked. E-Trade getting absolutely murked. They have halted trading. The entire system is a scam. The Matrix wrecks you endlessly, and as soon as you start to win, they turn the game off. I can see how people feel that way. I can definitely see how they feel that way. All right, what are we doing? The SPY and the Q's not moving too much. GME now calming down a little bit ever since 1010. What else is going? DJT is up 8%. So that's another one that has the ingredients for a squeeze. So a squeeze, I don't know. It gets obviously like thoroughly complicated, but a lot of the times the metrics we have in, it just tells you, is it theoretically possible that it could squeeze? Is there a short interest? Is it lower float? And then is there like an interest of people for this to happen? If you have all those ingredients, it could happen, but you still need the price to start to get going because you don't squeeze unless the short sellers are feeling pressure, unless people have FOMO and they're buying options that are out of the money. They go in the money, which causes the market makers to hedge more. That's referred to as a gamma squeeze. In my opinion, there's three major forms of buying. You have a short squeeze where the shorts have to buy. You have a gamma squeeze where the market makers have to buy. And then you have good old fashioned FOMO where just everyone's talking about it. So they're like, oh, okay, well, if they're buying it, I want to buy it. And then because they buy it, keeps going up, so more people buy it. And all of them just very rapidly become self-fulfilling prophecies. But anyway, you have a short squeeze, a gamma squeeze, and FOMO. And on the chart, there's no way to really delineate. Buying is buying, so it goes up. So when people say squeezing, I think they kind of use it as an umbrella term of just like the stocks going up. But sometimes in the aftermath, when you're doing the autopsy of the situation, you can actually find out what's truly happening. You can say, oh, okay, like, what's happening here? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing the other thing? Type of a deal. Okay, what do we have? We have Trump, week 5. Just in, Andrew Tate becomes the latest celebrity to say he's buying GameStop stock, GME, and never selling, according to a post on X. He said GameStop is the battle against the system. Jesus, this is... Memes are alive, brother. Memes are alive. Wow. One of the most influential market makers of our time, market movers of our time, Rowan Kitty. Wild. Meme Gambler just stepped in with $450,000 worth of 34 calling this week. Gamma gang going all in. That's what, when I said gamma squeeze, that's what that means, is like the gamma gang. The gamma gang. That's wild. After 8 limit up, limit down holds in the first hour, GameStop continues up and short sellers have now lost $1 billion in one day. Wow. Wow. And E-Trade's down. People are reporting funky things with Robinhood and E-Trade. Like, dude, just... We're back, boys. We're back. We're back. Indicators. Let me set up an EMA over here really quick. I still do, at a certain point, need to figure out my own positions. We're back, brother. We're back. All right. Are we actually breaking down? Not quite. Not quite. The SPY got real close. Don't forget that the SPY on Friday closed. Oh, we're already below the close. Why was that not marked on my chart? I thought I had it marked. It was just marked wrong. Oh, wait, no. Do I have bad data? I'm seeing where are we trading right now? Yeah, we didn't hit the close value, but then the daily is off? Is this just wrong right now? What's going on here that it says 2144 and it's saying we close at... Is something wrong here? Why does this show that we close at 2182, but then the closing value says 2084? Is anyone else having weird? That doesn't make sense to me. Something's off because we literally have not hit the close value, but but the way the bar's painted, it shows it almost like a whole dollar above. Strange. Strange. Market wrong. Marked wrong. I marked it wrong because I'm seeing the close value right here at 2084. And it even says it. Literally right there. Close value 2084. Yeah, 2084. But then why, like, the candle itself is showing 2184. Like the daily bar, the painting of the bar is almost a whole dollar higher. So I think something messed up on TradingView because we definitely are not at that close value. Speaking of which, it looks like, are we going down? We going down here, team? We're not back until Trey trades rears his lying head. I don't really want to talk about this too much, but I will say one thing. If for some reason he chooses to come back, please understand that he is a self-admitted paid stock promoter. Look at the video on the Plain Bagel's website. The Plain Bagel was talking about like market influencers, like finfluencers, whatever. Trey is self-admitted that he was paid to pump stocks. So in the circumstance that he ever comes back, please understand he is a self-admitted stock promoter, which is like definitely illegal if you don't disclose it till later. I don't know how the, various bodies, authorities, if you will, haven't looked into it, but I mean, he's self-admitted. This isn't even like speculation. He look at the video. It's on the Plain Bagel website. He's like, yeah, no, I was paid to promote stocks. So do what you want with that, but I doubt he'll come back. I think he went into hiding for a good reason because he knew he did illegal things, and he's just hoping that no one ever brings his name up again, and the SEC and FINRA and the like Department of Justice never come knocking. Were you paid by anyone? No, I was never, ever paid to say anything positive or negative or not talk about a stock ever. And I will never accept a payment from it because it was pretty obvious you should never fucking do that. So I've never been paid to say anything positive, negative, or to just like overlook and not talk about any equity ever. Is that what Roaring Kitty does? No, he just posts his own position and people like following what he does. What are options doing right now? So the NASDAQ catching maybe a little bit, but kind of coming down. The SPY's looking a bit heavy. Here's GameStop's. On the screen right now is GameStop, and you can see that it's getting unloaded. Halted. Wait, is it halted again? Dude, another halt? Oh, that's crazy. Well, folks, if you want to trade with me, if you want to get private lectures every single week, learn about systematic trading, advanced options trading, and really just hang out with the community of traders, you can join for free. Just use the code GOONIE, GOONIE. Take 1 second to ensure it's there when you click out. And when you're actually filling out all out your info, your name, your email, double check that it's in there. Yes, we can do a refund thing if you mess it up somehow, but it's a pain in the butt and it takes a while. So it's much, much easier if you just take 3 seconds out of your life when you're checking out to ensure that Goonies actually applied. Make sure the promo code is actually applied. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. You're going to really, really enjoy it. Really, really enjoy it. DJT is picking up as well. Well, while we're looking at it, we might as well look at the numbers on DJT. Where are we at? DJT. DJT. Some call buying, some put buying. So both, like they're kind of fighting. What's the short interest on DJT right now? DJT. The short interest on DJT is holy shit. 79%. Cost to borrow 370, utilization maxed out. Dude, I mean, does this mean it's going to squeeze? No, but it very much clearly has all the ingredients for a squeeze. It is a low float, high short interest, high cost to borrow, and the stock is trending to the upside. It clearly, holy crap. That is insane. Absolutely insane, the short interest on that. Wow. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. So GameStop, I think it's what, 8th or 9th haul of the day. DJT up another 9%. Both are interesting. Both have, I need AMC and BIR to go back so I can get my 2K. Well, BIOR, isn't that like dead now? This is why I hate pharmaceutical plays and pharmaceutical stocks. Hate them. Hate them, hate them, hate them. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Are we going to start moving again? It's almost 10:45. Would you still buy Microsoft calls today based on just today's movement? Well, I wouldn't. If you're day trading, that's very different than swing trading. So I don't know your time frame. I'm currently swing trading Microsoft MSFT in like the bullish direction, but it's a swing trade, and I'm giving myself like 2 weeks for it to work out.
Hey, Matt, longtime fan. Been a little while, I'm not going to lie. I got to give you credit. Major props. You're willing to admit that AMC was something all in itself different. And a lot of people won't do that. I've seen some original, different YouTubers just not do it today because they have since forsaken GME. But you know what? You're still tracking it. Let's fucking go. Diamond hands.
Appreciate that.
Matt, the real question is, where's Rico? Rico Dot!
Dude, I do miss Rico Dot. I would wish he would come back one of these days.
Yes. Hi, I'm actually looking for the owner of the market magnets. If he would kindly just go ahead and use them for me, that would be splendid, because I'm getting in trouble buying way too many SPY puts.
SPY puts. All right, so you want me to magnet the market down. That's what I'm being asked to do? I could do that. I just don't want to put the magnet on the wrong side. I don't want to mess it up for you.
What's up?
Did you just call it What's Up? One of the better movies.
Hey, Matt. I just sold my GME last week at a loss.
That's a bummer. Maybe have you thought about not doing that? Maybe buy low, sell high type of a deal? Maybe one of those. Money could be moving to AMC. Not how it works whatsoever. Not how it works at all. GME is up 89% this year. If you have invested 10,000 at the beginning of the year, you'd have 18,900. The SPY's up 10%. Yeah, Warren Buffett's probably pissed right now. Ken Griffin's pissed. Everyone's pissed except for the trolls, the internet trolls. Okay, so the SPY and the Qs are currently flat. GME coming down, but still above its opening value. Opened up at 26, currently trading at 29 with a high of 38. DJT dumped, popped, and now we're going sideways. Tesla, let's, I guess, just do a run through and see what else is like potentially moving today. Okay. What do we have? Microsoft dumped, unfortunate to me. Nvidia dumped. Meta dumped. Netflix dumped and now sideways. Tesla having a somewhat decent day. GameStop, obviously, we're covering that. DJT, we're covering that. Rum's having a pretty good day, too. Shout out to Rum, up at $7. Coin, flat. Apple picking up. Apple's going good. Apple's catching a bid. Amazon dumping. Oil chilling at 80. IBIT. Solana coming down. ETH is coming down. TLT, bonds coming back. Texas Roadhouse. Did we hit a new all-time high on Friday? No, we're so close to a new all-time high in Texas Roadhouse. I wish this was the stock that we're squeezing. Texas Roadhouse deserves to squeeze. It deserves it because it's a good American country, you know? Some say Texas Roadhouse is what America was like built on. And I agree with that. People are saying AMC's pumping. Interesting definition of pumping when it's up 20% in one day and yet it's up. Oh, it's just that. Does no one see the difference here? Like, why are people grouping these together? Am I the insane person to be like, no, that's like a whole different game that we have going on right here. So this is GameStop. That's AMC. Do you guys not see the difference here? One is led by a fucking creepy old dude who's done nothing but run the company into the ground. The other one not only having better stock movement, but it's a guy who doesn't take a paycheck, is kind of Ryan Cohen kind of trading with it, better understands Reddit. It's associated with like the actual original meme stocks. AMC is just a wannabe, folks. It's a wannabe that could not fake it well enough because the guy running the company, Adam Aron, is a fucking creep. And then on top of that, on top of the fact that their leader is a creepy old crusty dude, the following that it's generated are kind of like the dumbest degenerate people within the market. So to be a degenerate, there's no clear correlation with intellect. You have smart degenerates, genius degenerates, and then actually stupid ones. There is a clear intellectual break between the hardcore GME supporters and the hardcore AMC supporters. And for those of you who don't know, those two groups like to fight a lot for whatever reason. But the GameStop one, like, that's the group who started it. It very much is. And I would think that AMC actually has a legit shot. Like, I'm not necessarily against AMC. I love movies. I want the movie theater chains to survive. I very, very much do. Not only do I like movies, but I know it employs a lot of people. I don't want those people to lose their jobs. It just seems all a lot easier if you get rid of the cancer that is their CEO. Like, it seems like they would have a much, much better shot. And I guess they just don't want to do that. Instead, they want to just like keep increasing his pay for whatever reason. If AMC rips, AA will dilute 100%. The one thing we can guarantee is if AMC rips, yes, Adam Aron will dilute the fuck out of it. The upside potential in real time is way higher on GameStop than it is on AMC because for whatever reason, the shareholder base on AMC, and remember, I sold out of it, so I'm not even part of that anymore. Don't forget that they voted to give Adam Aron the basically unlimited power to dilute. So that means whenever AMC goes up, they're going to sell stock into it, diluting it back down. The same situation cannot be said about GameStop. It's not like Ryan Cohen has the unlimited power to dilute the way Adam Aron does with AMC. It's two completely different games. Why did you change from AMC so hard? Because I learned what was going on. Call me crazy, but I took in new information and reassessed my position and realized, oh, we're fucked. What is the point of coming up with an initial idea and then never changing from it? If you are like that, the market's not from you. Like, this is going to be harsh, but I'm going to save you a bunch of money. You should quit trading now. If you are a person who can only take in information once, come up with an idea, and you're like, nope, that's it. That's my thesis, 100%, never changing it. The market's not for you. The market is, by definition, a forever evolving organism. And if you can't change with new information, with new inputs, you're going to get eaten alive. Like, why would you keep the same thesis? That's just stupid. With new information, such as the fact, oh wow, the shareholder base voted for him to have the unlimited dilution power. That seems wrong. And yet people somehow got tricked into thinking it was right. All right, here is GameStop. Popped in the options market with price, and then with all the halts, tried to get going again, couldn't hold, and now it's getting a little bit hit, but it'll be interesting to see if people come back and then start buying calls again. I'm looking for the orange and the green line to go up. If the orange and the green line go up, I would think that this has a pretty decent shot on the intraday. But first, you would need to see some of that aggression in the calls, to put it frank. The leadership of AMC aren't going to get rid of AA because he's padding their portfolio, and the shareholders that voted were probably the board and executives. Well, it's because of the backdoor deals with, Antara or whatever. They basically control the vote, the voting power, because like their specialty shares and some shares are more important for voting than other ones. And mathematically, they can control the vote. So even if there was like, I guess a proposal to get out of, like kick him out, it wouldn't be executed by retail itself, because I know that a lot of people are going to be like, retail owns 90%. If you hear that, if you hear retail owns 90% of AMC's outstanding share count, please understand that the person who's saying that, like, legitimately, they have something wrong with their brain. Like, truly, they have some sort of mental lapse, some sort of mental issue going on in their life. There's been no metric ever that suggests AMC at one point was owned 90% by retail. The exact quote from Adam Aaron is, not counting index funds, AMC owns 90%. But that's like saying, if you have a bag of 10 things, and like 5 of them are red and 5 of them are blue, you'd be like, oh, well, not counting all the red ones, it's all blue. No shit, Sherlock. Duh. So that's where people got confused. They're like, oh, not counting index funds, retail owns 90%. But the issue is index funds at that moment in time owned a lot. So it was, once again, another mental contorting effort on the part of people who just don't know what they're talking about. Like, just like actually stupid people. They own 90% of the shares AA dumped at 45. No, they never did. Never did. It's just a basic math thing, honestly. They never did. 5-minute on the S&P 500, red, 10-minute red, 30-minute potentially breaking down. Potentially breaking down. The Qs are a bit stronger. Is it going to break right here? We're at an important decision level. The Qs are definitely stronger. 5 minutes red, 10 minutes, like, see how we're just going flat? It's very indecisive. So the overall market today, not moving, and who knows, maybe it's because all eyes are on, is this shit going to squeeze or not? Still room to sell GME short? Well, yeah, if you're short, it could go to 0. If you're long, it could go to infinity. There's room for any of it. Room for any of it. Breaking. Thousands of users are reporting that E-Trade is down just as GameStop rises over 100%. Many users have been unable to log into their accounts since the stock market opened. That's brutal. Well, E-Trade's going to lose some business.
Watching, you're going to be sitting on your ass on the sofa in October, watching DVD Trader land on the moon. Going to be sitting on your ass.
Wait, is this real?
Going to be sitting on your ass on the sofa in October, watching DVD Trader land on the moon.
Is this real? Is he like making other content, or is this like an AI thing? Oh, I see you went to college. This is nuts. We're live. This is E-Trade. Well, how many of you are on E-Trade? I guess we have a live audience to poll right here, right now. Folks, how many of you are on E-Trade? Are you currently having issues logging in? Like, you just literally have no access to the platform? Is that what is going on for you? Whoa, we're dipping. We're dipping in options, team. We are dipping. No access. Hasn't been working. Y'all got rugged. Missed out on a bunch. Robinhood. Yes, at Robinhood is the move. I'm telling you, don't get on Robinhood. Why would you be on Robinhood? Robinhood is the move. What? No, it is very much not the move. That would be the opposite of the move. Don't do that. Don't do that. Extra hour of stream. Maybe. I'll let you guys convince me that that is actually the move. The spy is looking heavy. I was supposed to I have a private lecture. I'm supposed to give like in the Discord, we do private lectures, and I was supposed to give one today. All right, I can move the private lecture to tomorrow, and we could stay for an extra hour today. All right, so if you're in the Discord, private lecture, rescheduled to tomorrow, happening, but rescheduled to tomorrow. For those of you that want to be in the Discord for said private lecture, you could sign up. It's free if you use the code GONIE. GONIE will allow you free access. And then locals, mattcohrs.locals.com. That's like the community center. That's how you get connected to the Discord. That's how you get the newsletter. That's how you get Piper signals. That's how you get important updates from me. It's all in locals. Mattcohrs.locals. That's the community center. And if you want to get connected to the Discord, use the code GONIE. But I do want to let you know, if you're on Discord, there are many, many scammers. So if anyone is reaching out to you who looks like me, who might be me, and they're asking about a crypto opportunity or copy trading or anything like that, it is 100% a scam. I'm not reaching out to any of you ever about a crypto opportunity, copy trading, anything like that. Double check the name. My Discord name is MMK147. If there's any dots or dashes or extra numbers or letters, it is not me. I am not talking to any of you ever about copy trading, crypto, or any suspect bullshit like that. There are a lot of scammers. Do not fall for it. That is true on Discord. That is true on YouTube comments. That is true on Rumble comments. That is true on Twitter. I'm not talking to you guys about shit. I'm not reaching out to you for like weird, scammy shit like that. If it sounds suspect, go find my actual account. I don't have these weird duplicate accounts. So if you're like, well, hang on, I see two of him. Am I talking to the right one? Probably a pretty good flag that is not me. Just want to clarify. Please, if you're signing up, and I implore you to all sign up for the Discord, you can get in for free. I'm telling you, there's a good chance you're going to get a message about copy trading crypto. It's not me. It is not me. It is not me. It is not me. I call it out in the welcome message. I call it out in the Discord guide, and people are still falling for the trap. Do not fall for the trap. So we don't have a date at Texas Roadhouse this Friday. No, that one actually is me. That one is yes. Can I help you? Question mark. You and I do that. That is me. We do have a date. We 100% have a date. But beyond that, that's actually the password. For any of you listening to me right now, the current password, if you think you're talking to me, is Texas Roadhouse. So be like, hey, if you're Matt Kohrs, what's the password? The password's Texas Roadhouse. I'm saying that to you live right now. I'm not AI Matt. This is real Matt right now. If you want to know it's me, that's the password. If it is me because I'm me, you would then know that you actually are going to be like, that's me, Texas Roadhouse. Be like, yo, bro, what's the password? If it doesn't respond Texas Roadhouse, you know it's not me. That's me. The password's Texas Roadhouse. That's how you know. Yes. Okay. Someone is saying Roaring Kitty tweeted. What did he just tweet? Roaring Kitty just tweeted. Let's watch it. Where are we going with this? Yeah, we definitely just got DMCA'd. For sure.
Oh! Oh! Yes! Let's go!
Well, that's pretty funny. So he just tweeted this out. 2 minutes and already has 7.4 thousand likes. Jesus. Actually, in the Discord, Piper just fired. Let me give you guys Piper. Peter Piper picked up pickled pickled peppers. or something like that, right? Peter Piper. Peter Piper. Something about Peter's Piper. Something like that. Okay. If you are in the Discord, I just... Typo. Okay. If you're in the Discord, I just fired it off. Piper's in there now. I personally haven't done any of my trades yet. I should probably figure that out with my life. I should probably figure that out. What do I want to trade? What does Matt want to trade today? What do I want to trade? Ooh. I don't know if I can. Like, it's not that close. Options just dumped right there. Definitely. How did I not get DMCA'd yet? I'm probably going to get DMCA'd. 6 years ago, Trump came to Wisconsin holding a golden shovel and promised to build a new manufacturing complex. He failed to deliver. Last week, I visited the same site to announce a $3.3 billion investment that's going to create thousands of new jobs. Well, we'll see. I have such GME FOMO, but here is what I know. No matter what I do at GME and AMC, I will lose my shirt in the end. Reasonable. Hodl. Tate's about to lose $2 million just to try to make some billionaire lose all his money. Based.
And why does everybody hear?
What is this? Pelosi reaffirms her stance. 2016 elections were hijacked. Debater, you may be thinking now that Trump is a populist. You are right. He didn't accept the 2020 elections and should have. What?
And why does everybody here say to me, what happens if he gets elected? Well, you can't let that happen, because for us, this election is Washington crossing the Delaware.
A few moments later.
You may be thinking now that Trump is a populist. You are right. He didn't
They're so
accept the
fancy.
2020 elections, and he should have. So should Hillary in 2016, so should Brussels, and so should Westminster in 2016, and so too should Congresswoman Pelosi, instead of saying the 2016 election was, quote, hijacked. Quote, hijacked.
Thank you. Demolished.
And why does everybody...
It was. That's so embarrassing. No, that one was hijacked, but the other one wasn't. One of them was hijacked, but it was just one. It's like a one-sided affair, obviously. So silly. GME's option spreads are obscene. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. So the SPY going for this kind of, but not really. We're just flat right now. Tape is aping into GME and Tristan is not pleased.
Andrew's spending too much money on this GameStop thing, and he can't explain to me why. Why?
I'll spend anything it takes to piss off these billionaires. These are the dickheads that own the newspapers and saw us all day. This is my fucking chance to get them back. I'll spend it all, Tristan. Doesn't matter how broke we go, they'll go broker. To the end. Diamond hands. Warriors of boredom. We'll do anything it takes. Anything. I'm going to sell your fucking stuff. I'll sell your stuff and buy GameStop.
It's so silly. What freaking upside down world do we currently live in? It's something. The Warriors are, I'm broke, but you're a broker. I love that argument of I might go broke, but you'll be broker. One way to do it. One way to do it. Options are actually starting to pick up again on right here. You can see it. The white line picking up. We have the delta picking up. Getting a little bit more aggressive there on GME. Options coming back into style. Picking up right here. Well, I guess easy, basic, rudimentary intraday analysis would be saying, hey, if it starts to pop above 33.50, the party might be back on. And it is picking up. Options are picking up right now. I know price isn't picking up, but I mean, we can clearly see it right here. People are buying calls and getting out of puts. So they're buying the next expiration this Friday and also later dated ones. And then they're closing out some puts right here by these two blue lines going up. So puts are being closed, calls are being purchased. I know price isn't moving yet, but in the options market, people are definitely getting a little bit more bullish. Everyone's getting a little bit more bullish. Okay, very quickly, sad news on Friday. The true GOAT of Wall Street, Mr. Jim Simons, has passed away at 86, which not only is a good run, but it's a good run for a dude who's like a hardcore smoker. Dude, the guy rips cigs like it was his job. Jim Simons has passed away at 86 years old. Jim Simons' medallion fund has returned 62% per year over 33 years, making it the greatest hedge fund of all times. He is the true GOAT. There's no better trader than Simons. Absolutely amazing. Jim Simons on how to beat the stock market in under 5 minutes. Why is this not playing? This is how to beat the stock market in under 5 minutes from the true GOAT himself, Jim Simons of Renaissance Technologies, recently passed away. So everyone's kind of looking at his body of work, which is an absurd return. He made over $100 billion of profits in the stock market over a 3-decade time frame. He is the true GOAT. And I like this clip because he very simply breaks down how you can beat the stock market.
There's something called the efficient market theory, which says that there's nothing in the data, let's say price data, which will indicate anything about the future, because the price is sort of always right. The price is always right in some sense. But that's just not true. So there are anomalies in the data, even in the price history data. For one thing, commodities especially used to trend, not dramatically trend, but trend. So if you could get the trend right, you'd bet on the trend, and you'd make money more often than you wouldn't, whether it was going down or going up. That was an anomaly in the data, but gradually we found more and more and more and more anomalies. None of them is so overwhelming that you're going to clean up on a particular anomaly, because if they were, other people would have seen them. So they have to be subtle things. And you put together a collection of these subtle anomalies, and you begin to get something that will predict pretty well.
How elaborate are these things? Because in my head, I'm imagining, some equation like Pythagoras equation, and you put a few numbers in and something spits out. But are these giant beasts of equations and algorithms, or are they simple things?
Well, the system, as it is today, is extraordinarily elaborate. But it's not a whole lot of, it's what's called machine learning. So you find things that are predictive. You might guess, oh, such and such should be predictive, might be predictive, and you test it out in the computer, and maybe it isn't, maybe it isn't. You test it out on long-term historical data and price data and other things, and then you add to the system this if it works, and if it doesn't, you throw it out. So there aren't elaborate equations, at least not for the prediction part. But the prediction part is not the only part. You have to know what your costs are when you trade. You're going to move the market when you trade. Now, the average person will make buy 200 shares of something and he's not going to move the market at all because it's too small. But if you want to buy 200,000 shares, you're going to push the price. How much are you going to push the price? How are you going to, are you going to push it so far that you can't make any money because you've distorted things so much? So you have to understand costs, and that's something that's important. And then you have to understand how to minimize the volatility of the whole assembly of positions that you have, and be so you have to do that. That last part takes some fairly sophisticated applied mathematics, not earth-shattering, but fairly sophisticated.
What discipline of mathematics or disciplines? Is it multidisciplinary, or are we talking?
It's mostly statistics. It's mostly statistics, and some probability theory, but I can't get into what things we do use and what things we don't use. We reach for different things that might be effective. So we're very universal. We don't have any, but it's a big computer model. For one thing, there is a capacity to the major model. It can manage a certain amount of money, which is rather large, but it can't manage an enormous amount of money because you're going to end up pushing the market around too much. So it's kind of a sweet spot as to how much it's reasonable to manage. Therefore, it would never grow into some behemoth which would, take everybody out, and you'd be the only player.
And he has style. Not only does he have the brain, but dude, he's
there are
oozing
limitations, at
style,
least,
pure fashion. Is that the je ne sais quoi, if you will? He has that it factor. Like, look at this,
improving it.
Look
We
at
have
this
about
charisma,
100
brother.
PhDs working for the firm.
That voice.
That's what I mean.
Gravitas.
How did you get to that point? Did you start to think we need this, we need that?
We just hired smart people. My algorithm has always been, you get smart people together,
and you get them to work, and then they produce smart things. So this was a little clip from Jim Simons, literally the best trader known to man. Started Renaissance Technologies. Before that, he was a code breaker, I believe, for the NSA. He was a mathematician. He worked at various schools. I think he was the head of the math department at Stony Brook. And then from there, he went into the hedge fund world, and he dominated the hedge fund world and the trading world and the money management world for over 3 decades. If you want to look up some crazy statistics, look up the performance of the Medallion Fund. So that was like one of their flagship funds, and it got closed to the public a while ago. You have to be internal to it, and they were just making money and money and money and money. So anyway, he recently passed away. It's sad, but if you're kind of curious about emulating some of the best traders known to man, this is a guy that would be on the top of your list. That he has some great books out there, or books about him. He has some great clips out there talking such as this, and really to, I guess, add a little bit of color and a little bit of context to what he's really referring to here is they would find anomalies such as, for example, if the market is down on Monday in excess of 1%, there's higher odds of it being green on Tuesday. That is known as Turnaround Tuesday. Now, obviously, I have absolutely no clue if he traded Turnaround Tuesday, but it's more of trying to show you a pattern of if X, then here are the odds of Y. And they would just data mine everything they could to find those advantageous situations. And then they just took those again and again and again and again. And obviously at first it started off rather rudimentary, but years later it became a very, very complex behemoth of just some of the best statisticians and researchers and math minds of our time. And they just absolutely dominated the market. And I cannot do enough to articulate the discrepancy between their performance and the second best. It's not even close. It's the equivalent of Tiger Woods in his prime, Michael Jordan in his prime, Mike Tyson in his prime. He is that for the world of trading. Just like, sometimes when you're watching sports and you're like, oh, by the way, like this guy's doing good now, but historically it actually wasn't that impressive. That's his numbers. Like when we hear about the best performing funds right now, they still all pale in comparison to what Simons and his team at Renaissance were able to do. A true GOAT, true GOAT. All right, how are we doing in the market right now? What are we doing? Picking up a little bit, but still really range bound. Options are picking up right now. Ooh, getting a little spicy here. Look at this. The bulls might be gaining a little bit of control. Right here. How's the NASDAQ looking? NASDAQ popped a bit, well, got hit sideways, pop right now in the very, very short term, taking a bit of a hit. But I'm liking the potential reversion. So if you're bullish, you might like this. Why is GameStop running? Because people are buying it. Why people are buying it is a completely different question, and you probably have to have a deep, deep understanding of psychology to understand why people are throwing money in on a troll, a troll story, a troll narrative. And yeah, but why does anything go up? Because people buy it. There's more aggressive buying than there is selling. Why do things go down? Because there's more aggressive selling than there is buying. Fun fact about Jim Simons, he did not wear socks. That's interesting. Takes off socks. Yeah, that's the difference to becoming a multi-billionaire trader, is just socks. If your trading performance has not been what you want it to be, I highly, highly, highly recommend removing your socks. Highly recommend removing your socks. Options picked up on the SPY. Options did pick up on the Qs, but now they're getting hit on the Qs. There's also a put wall at 18,210 on NDX, the actual NASDAQ 100. All right, so for those of you interested in GameStop, here's what the option situation looks like right now. Flat. Not really moving too much to the up, not moving too much to the downside. The options market, the derivatives market for GME is flat. Flat. Short interest on GME, if you're just tuning in right now, is in the realm of 25%. Cost of borrow is around 16%. Historically, when we the numbers relative to what we saw in 2021 were considerably larger than what we see right now. That doesn't mean that we might not get to those, but I'm saying like a freeze frame, like a snapshot of right now, the numbers in 2021, the short interest was a lot greater. The cost of borrow was a lot greater. The outstanding share count was smaller. Just to a comparison, a fair comparison. Vision Pro feels product. Oh, Apple. I heard the Vision Pro, like people are not signing up for it as much as they thought they would. Are we going down? Are we going up? What's happening here? Which way are we going? 5 minutes red, 10 minutes red, the 30-minute. This is why I personally haven't really done anything today, is because the 30 minutes being indecisive. So obviously it was bullish, but then we came down, failed at the bounce, and now we're dancing right here. So I haven't seen a good opportunity. The 5 minutes flat, the 10 minutes flat. Once again, the 30-minute I need some trend to trade off of. I don't necessarily care if it's bullish or bearish. I would prefer bearish just because it would make my life a lot easier to go with the current trend. But for that to be real, we would need some form of a breakdown, but we'll see. We'll see. Actually, how is this looking over here? Are we going to take out these lows? How's the see, I don't like this. I see that the price is drifting down right now, and that might make people think, oh, here comes a breakdown. But as of now, the options market isn't quite agreeing, at least not on the SPY. It is kind of agreeing on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ options, the green line and the purple line, the NASDAQ, the tech sector, is in agreement with this drop in price. The SPY, not so much. Maybe this is the start of it. I guess we need this updates every 10 seconds. Let's see. Which way are we going? I mean, that was a strong pump right there. What was it? It was people closing puts. They closed out of their longer dated puts. But now people are buying. Strange. So on the Qs, people are buying puts, but they're also buying calls. Seems like a very indecisive day. I'm not doing anything yet. I just want to call it out that I personally have not seen a quality setup quite yet. I took a little bit of these Qs because I thought, oh, we're going to revert the classic 10-10-30 reversion. And then as soon as that started to break down, I got out. You guys saw that trade. That was active on the futures market. But Other than that, just waiting. Just waiting. We're waiting. I mean, DJT, that just dropped. GME's flat. So all of a sudden, we went from a pretty exciting opening for the first hour. And we'll see. Matt, I'm within 330 of my first payout on Apex, all manual trades. Great call out, dude. Congrats. Kitty posted again. We already watched it, man. You're way behind, Drew. Way behind. Way behind, brother. Nasdaq's coming back. How's the S&P? S&P, that little dip's not holding. The bulls are trying to fight right here. They're trying to fight at basically the close from Friday. My beef? Oh, no, all good. No worries. I would almost prefer you say that, because what if we didn't know it? It would be, we don't want to miss out on it. I was just letting you know. But I appreciate it very much so. Hey, a mountain paca? That seems like a cool vibe. That seems like it has a vibe. All right. Oh, shit. Here we go again. Payne in DC as CNN has to finally inform its viewers that things are going badly and Trump holds a massive lead over Biden battleground states in New York, blah, 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 blah.
Look, these Sunbelt battleground states, frankly, for the Joe Biden campaign, these numbers are an absolute disaster. The smallest lead is in Arizona for Donald Trump. He's up 6. Look at this, 9 in Georgia, 13 in Nevada. My goodness gracious, my God.
And this is from
that is
CNN.
a huge lead. No Democrat has
Wow.
lost that state since John Kerry lost it back in 2004. How about these Great Lake battleground states? This is something that the Joe Biden campaign can work with. Look, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump up 3, but that's well within the margin of error. Wisconsin, Donald Trump up 1, well within the margin of error. And actually, a Joe Biden lead well within the margin of error, up a point here. This they can work with the Joe Biden campaign. This, the Donald Trump campaign, absolutely loves, and it looks like a lot of the other polling on the Sunbelt battlegrounds.
When you're
as
looking
well.
into the numbers, why do you think Biden is doing better in the Great Lakes and Trump is doing so much better in the Sun Belt?
Yeah, the Trump coalition is changing. That's basically what's cooking here. This is at least one of the big reasons why. So this is among likely voters in these in all these battleground states we just spoke about. Back in 2020, 84% of the Trump campaigns, the Trump coalition was white. Look where it is now. It's 78%. The non-white portion of the Trump coalition, it was 13% in 2020. Look at this now. It's 19%. So the Trump coalition is becoming more diverse. And, of course, those Sunbelt battleground states are more diverse than the Great Lake battleground states.
You're looking at the Nevadas and the Arizonas here.
Of course. If you look at Nevada, Arizona, heavy Hispanic population, Georgia, heavily African-American population. With the Michigan does have some black voters in it, but Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are heavily, heavily white.
That's very interesting. Okay, add it all up. What does this say about where the race stands right now? We're talking Electoral College and the race to 270.
Yeah, the race to 270. It's advantage Donald Trump, but he's not over the 270 mark just yet, all right? So if we flip Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia here in your lighter shades of pink, you add them to the states, and of course the 2nd Congressional District up in Maine, which Donald Trump won last time around, that gets him to 268 electoral votes. If we keep Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania in the too close to call category, along with Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, Joe Biden at 225. So it's advantage Donald Trump, but Joe Biden does at this point have a path to 270.
Yeah, and right now, as you're pointing out, neither.
Yeah.
Neither there.
Neither there.
Yeah,
And we
but
have a long
one's
road to
2
it. Yes,
points
we do.
away. Dude, for CNN to have to say that, golly. Golly. All right, what else do we have going on? This guy asks, what? Where's the no hammock sign?
I would like to see the sign that says no hammocks. We've got a whole. Where's the no hammock sign? We got a whole list of things. No. I can see you can't see me. You don't come on that. I'm not here. On the police. No. What? Oh my God.
Where's the no hammock sign?
You can't stop me.
Well, oh my God.
I won't be stopped. I said I won't be stopped. You see that?
Oh my God.
Are you gonna get out of there, man? Yeah. I'm like an anaconda.
Oh my God.
What the? You're gonna give yourself a concussion. You can't have a hammock in there, dude. Come on, just drive the bus.
Dude, we got places to go. I don't think we can. Can you get down so we can get where we're going, please? Dude, please.
Where's the no hammocks?
You know what? There's AC in here. Dude, get down. I'm not getting down. Get down. It's not moving. Get down. Get down. We have places to go. I would like to see the sign that says no hammock.
Get out of there. Get out of the hammock. All right. The spy's flat. Keys are flat. Everything's flat right now. All right. Well, nothing's going crazy right now. If something out of the blue does go crazy, I will stream again, just so you guys know. So make sure you subscribe on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching. Make sure your notifications are on. Right now, nothing's happening. It's boring. Like I said, I highly recommend, if you're an active trader, have some sort of trend following system. It's up to you, whatever your favorite is. Ooh, market's taking a little bit of a hit right now. Are options dumping with it? A little bit. Not so much on the Nasdaq. On the SPY, they are starting to dump. Interessante. Is it a fake out? Anyway, if something crazy happens, GameStop, anything like that, I will stream today, a specialty one. But other than that, the major plan would be we're posting some content later on today to kind of summarize the situation, and then streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early, to keep everyone informed of what in the world is happening. So right now, wait for your opportunity. It might just be a sideways mess. Only trade if you see exactly what you want. Other than that, discipline is what's going to bring you to the promised land. Now, if you want to hang out with me and trade with me and just chat about what's going on, you can get into the Discord for free if you use the code Goonie. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video, but also a very special shout out to Public, who is the official partner of today's stream. If you are trying to buy or sell stock, Public's the way to do it. No payment for order flow. If you're trying to buy or sell your options, Public's the way to do it. It's the only one that gives you a rebate. So show Public a little bit of love in the description of the video, the partner of the stream, and in my humble way, the best way to take advantage of the current craziness. So that's what I have for you. I'm going to go to the Discord. I hope to see you there. Don't forget, use the code Goonie to get connected to the Discord for free. If you have any issues getting connected, reach out to me. media@MatthewKohrs.com. DM me on Twitter, DM me on Discord, MMK147. That's my Discord username. And please remember, there's a lot of scammers out there in the YouTube comments, Rumble comments, Twitter comments, Discord bots, all that stuff. I'm not talking to you guys about any of this stuff of copy trading. I'm not talking to you guys about crypto. If you want to know it's me, ask me for the password, because I know the password is Texas Roadhouse. If you ask a Matt Kohrs for the password and they don't respond Texas Roadhouse, you know it's not me. You 100% know it's not me. Hang on. You guys are saying he tweeted again? Roaring Kitty tweeted again? He did. Little Ferris Bueller.
You're still here? It's over.
Done when I say we.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, looks like we have a lot going on. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we are not only in for a crazy day, but the whole week. So if you want to stay on track of everything happening in the overall market, what's happening somewhat in the economy, what's happening in individual stocks, this is the place for you to be. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the Discord. Peace out. Best of luck.